Yo,
Yo, yo,
what's up,
yo.
Discourse Syndicate? What's up, Hexicans? How's all of the crypto pirates out there doing? You good, Litecoin Moses?
I'm good. I'm yoing and hoeing.
Yoing and hoeing. Well, I'm going to get this shit down sooner or later.
Bro, we're good.
Hexologist has been helping me, and I've been trying to get OBS up and running, and it's just, you gotta do everything's got to be like video, sound. You've got to create all of these different scenes and sources and stuff to make sure you get the sound right and everything else right. So it's kind of been a pain in the ass.
I know, but I mean, this is only like I said, this is just little rough patch in the sea, man. We'll get through this.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, no, it's going to be cool though. We keep losing our guest, so he keeps popping up and popping out. Maybe he's having some issues with his internet. We got a couple of cutthroats in the back there. Our Discourse Syndicate cutthroats are rolling in tonight, and Crypto Coffee's supposed to be on with us. He just popped out a second ago, so he'll probably come back up. There he is. So what's going on out there, Litecoin? Any news you need to report before we get started?
It's looking like I think I said this on the last stream, but it's a little more confirmed now that Tether's going to start moving transactions off of Ethereum onto like OMG and Tron to like lessen the ETH gas prices that's kind of going on right now.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Now, are they doing it to help ETH? Or are they doing it because they're pissed off at ETH? What's the reasoning behind it?
Honestly, I think they're doing it because they're a little pissed off that how much they're paying in gas fees as well. Probably because it's costing them a lot of money too. Because they're more than 80% of the transactions on Ethereum. So they're more or less what they're doing is probably diversifying themselves a bit to lessen the attack vector on the Tether network in between a bunch of places. So let's just say Ethereum for some reason went down, they'd be okay on the other networks, and Tether would just keep on rolling.
I was just gonna bring coffee up. He just dipped out again.
Yeah, I've been having like a sneaking suspicion that Bitcoin might go down a little bit, maybe like 20-30%. Might be the last little crash before we start ramping up again, But so far from this, I don't know if you can believe this or not, but I think I posted on my Twitter earlier. There's this chart where it shows in between this and August, there's always like a 30% correction in since like 2011, I think, to now, there's been that correction ranging from like 54% to 30%. So who knows? But I mean, it's been right every year, but past, the past doesn't always tell the future, but it's a good indicator sometimes.
Well, I saw today. So on the news that you just passed, I don't know if it was a pinned video or if he was doing a video, but it was Ivan on Fence that was talking about Ethereum, right. And he was fighting Ethereum. He went all the way back to the fork, right. The fork hack, and he was talking about all that and showing in depth, in detail views of the Solidity code that had made the mistakes and all that. And he was, I don't know if that was an old thing. I was just I was like, wow, listen to this. Cause everyone was talking about Ivan, throwing a shout out to Hexo, which is, I mean, that's awesome that he said something about our community and our community leader that's out there up in front of everybody. It's cool that he mentioned him, but I'm still not fucking buying it from these guys because they're bullshitting, man. It's like, so I'm going to,
the fence. They're playing both sides,
what they're doing is they're hedging their bets. They're like, okay, so if HEX does take off and does do well, I want to be one of the guys that says, I told you guys, I was talking about HEX back in the day, So if you're wishy-washy about it, you can say either way. Oh, I told you guys not to get in HEX. I told you, you didn't see me endorse it. But then they'll be able to say, oh, well, I told you. So I was talking about it earlier. I was one of the first people that was speaking positively about HEX. So I see what they're doing.
Yeah. Did you see that thing Rich said? I think I forgot on which live stream it was. I think it was the one with Hexo where he was saying about like these email kind of scams where they tell you like they send 50% of the. So they send emails to all their newsletters, right? Like Hex is going to go up on this one, Hex is going to go down on the other half, right?
Yeah.
And then they keep going down until you get a small percentage of your population that thinks like, dude, RG3 is always right, man. He's been right like 7 times in a row.
Yeah, because they're like they pick and choose, you know. They
Right,
like their commentator, they like their figurehead, and then so they pick and choose the stuff that he said that he got right, and they just line it up with their. It's a freaking joke, man. It's a joke, and this guy, you know, Simple Man and Ivan on Fence. They're not doing it any justice. So check this out. So RG3 is doing a little bit of his research, right? You know, ain't no dummy either. But I got involved in all of those 5 coins that Simple Man went on and
right.
He said these are the top 5 staking coins. Well, I was on all of Icon's chats. They had 3 of them, and 2 of those chats, if you go to them now in Telegram, if you go to them now, they're labeled scams. They're labeled scam. That was his number. I think that was his number 5 choice when he was talking about coins. Now, the Hex community, I can't even count how many Telegram channels we have, and I don't see any of them labeled scam.
Right.
We've
got easily 80 plus.
Really?
80, I mean, yeah, if you think it's dreams.
I mean, everybody's like, all the little stuff. But I mean, we've got about 5 major, straight up Richard Hart created, Telegram chat rooms that are specific to, different communities within Hex itself that are always open, always moving, always communicating, loaded with people, and have never been labeled a scam.
Right.
So that right there, just that information alone, the code being finished on Hex, everything being there for you to read it. And then you've got a guy like Simple Man calling this thing legit, his number 5 of his top 5, and Hex doesn't make the cut.
Right.
So
when he just talked about it,
he just talked the day before.
Right.
So again,
unless he was being lazy and just already had the video pre-recorded or something, but he still should have added it. Like, I don't know, man. So
you got, okay. They mention Hex, blah, blah, blah. It's getting a little bit easier for some of the bigs to mention Hex, but I ain't letting them off the hook. They're still being wishy-washy about it. They're still being big PU55Ys, and they ain't impressed me yet. So I ain't gonna go over there and start stroking those guys like a lot of other people I see doing it, saying, "Oh yeah, they're gonna come around." No, they ain't coming around yet. So screw that. Until they do, I ain't letting them off the hook. Right. Come on the show and talk to us about it if you want to.
They're gonna come around 2 cents a cent. Watch. I know them, dude. Like, come on. Like, it's so easy to tell. Come on. It's like they can't wrap their mind on around percentages and stuff like that. They're just like, no. Let's at a penny. I can show this to my followers. Like,
so let's bring coffee on because all right. So look. There's like, and this is just my little list. So we've got Richard Hart, who's kind of like the whole, when it comes to, coding, the smarts of the project, when it comes to the marketing, the branding, he's the leader of the project of Hex. Then you've got, like the leaders within the community that are spearheading things like Hexo and myself and Crypto Coffee and Ryan and some of the others, that are like putting channels out there,
right,
and doing things. And then you've got our brains. We've got Crypto Coffee is both, and then we've got like Good Texture,
right.
and there's a few others like Steph and Firebun. I mean, those guys they're brilliant, you know. So we've got
really intelligent.
So we've got these brilliant guys. So all of our community is loaded with, you know, a bunch of different types, and Coffee, who's coming up with us. This guy's like the whole package. So we'll bring him up right now. And also the other thing, and I want to talk about this tonight, is he's really been involved and been talking about the HEX Business project and all the things that they're doing. And that's something else I want. We talked a little about it with Good Texture, because Good Texture has an opinion of it from a dev point of view, like, hey man, I don't see, you know, the point of this and what it's doing, and there's a bunch of promises. Now, and then there's other people who are actually promoting it and saying, hey, this is a good project, it's good. Now I'm gonna play Simple Man and Ivan on Fence on this and say, hey, I'm gonna sit here in the middle and say I like some of the things they're doing, and some of the things are the jury's out on, because I mean, when I understand their position when it comes to something like this. But I'm doing my homework and looking at, you know, HEX Business, and I'm involved in it, and I'm seeing how it's going, and I'm moving funds around and seeing how it works. And so far, like I said on Monday, I have had no problems with it whatsoever. I was praising their launch and how they went from V1 to V2, almost seamless. A few bugs here and there, like little bugs, like button bugs and MetaMask things and stuff that's just like, if you're in tech at all and you do programming, you know that kind of shit's going to happen, especially on a big launch like that, a big move over.
Apple can't get it right sometimes.
I don't know.
And Apple's got all the money in the world.
Remember when Windows Vista came out and that thing like killed everybody? I mean, it was like a mess, you know? Yeah. So I don't hold that kind of stuff, begrudge them that kind of stuff. You know, if they lost people's funds, if they froze everybody's shit for months at a time or some stupid shit like that, now that's a problem. But they didn't do that, you know. They did a good launch. They've got a product I like because I like the wallet. I like the wallet, and I like to have a little chart in there. Cool. I mean, it's really not anything in depth, but the dividends that people are making on it, so far so good. I mean, I know people were complaining about they dropped when they migrated into the new V2, but it's obvious from where all of their sources of these divs are coming from that aren't completely launched yet. You know, that's kind of the explanation as to it. So I'm still giving it a chance, man. I don't think that there's problems with it. I don't think that it's a scam. I think they do have some things that they're getting ready to launch and are coming forward, but we'll talk to Coffee about it a little. Let me bring Cat up. This dude's the whole package here, Crypto Coffee. What's up?
Whoa.
What happened? Did he freeze on us?
I don't know.
Did you freeze, bro? Are we having internet problems?
Yeah. It's probably crypto, because I see no lag with you or anything.
He was moving. As soon as I brought him up, he dumped. Let's go to the chat real quick while we're here. Let me say, hey, Brian Jones and Brian Magruder. What's up, dudes? Adam. Oh man, right on. Yeah, you got in early. You got to hang out with
us.
What's
up, man?
Give me Liberty or give me Hex. What's up, brother? Crypto Orange. He came on the show with us about a week ago, and
Liberty's comment almost made me spit my drink out. So it's like don't let facts get in the way of a good story.
Yeah. So those of you who are hanging out with Hexo and then bouncing straight over to us, man, my hat's off. Thank you for sitting through all this time. You guys really want to know your Hex stuff. Let's see. So that was me. Alan Bittner, what's happening, brother? Amini. Man, some of these freaking names that we all got. Brasology, what's up, bro? Let's see. Yeah, Orange is in there. Colin said, what happened? That just disappeared on me. Countdown. Oh, he's Smuggler Ard. Schmugglard. Tony Pajamas.
Tony Pajamas.
I like staring at my AR-15 while this shit plays. Right on. So I'm going through the mouse trips here. What's up, my brother? ABC 1234. Art is RG3 Simple Man's dad. Oh shit. Simple man. Simple man. Let's see who else. All right. Jonas Sachs, right up the shoot here. 1 to 2 days before a big move. Oh, we'll have to talk about that.
Okay.
So let me bring up coffee. And boom. There you are, dude. Are you having internet problems or what?
Yeah, dude. I'm having bad internet problems. I'm getting DDoSed by the XRP army. They're trying to take me down. No, but really, no, it's pretty fucked. I tried plugging my router into a different outlet. You know, it's a power issue because I got a blinking red light. So I think I got a battery that's like about to be dead. So I got to replace the battery on that thing. So don't be surprised if I cut out again. But what's up, guys? It's good to be here.
What's happening, dude?
What's up, dude?
We got all kinds of stuff to talk about with you. So I was just letting everybody know that, you know, you're like a freaking I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. You're like a master of all trades.
You're too good to me, man. I'm not a developer though, so
you're good though. You can speak enough into it. And you know enough about it once you see some of this stuff. But I mean, yeah, like good texture. I mean, the man's he knows code. He looks at things. He looks at code and goes, "This is bullshit," or "This is nothing," or "This is what does it do?" You know, it doesn't do anything. Yeah, and bottom line is 99% of cryptos don't. So, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, dude. And like, I can read contracts too. I don't program, but I mean, I could tell if, you know, enough to know that if you made it from a contract generating website, you know, it's going to say that. And there's going to be some pretty, like there was one contract that Good Texture pointed out that when he said it doesn't do anything. Yeah, it was just multiplying, adding, subtracting. I looked at it and I was like, oh, he's actually right. Like that much I could actually understand because it was so simple that I could actually, I'm like, if I can understand this and there's parts that I get, if I can understand the whole thing, it's probably not a good smart contract, right? You want some level of complexity where like, you know, Richard Hart is doing bit shifting to get more efficient gas fees. I don't get that, but I know when I see it and it's like, okay, if I don't get it, at least, you know, that's a good sign.
You can look at it and go, there's some cool shit in there.
Right.
That's some cool shit that I don't know about, but there's some cool shit right there.
Right. Exactly. Did you guys hear about the shrimp? They exit scammed, man.
Oh no! Did you lose your shrimp, bro?
Dude, I lost like 7 shrimp. I lost about 7 hex worth of shrimp. So
damn.
Don't cry for me. It's okay. I'll be all right. But I mean, come on, guys. Like I knew it was only a matter of time. You know, there's 4 or 5, maybe 6 different games or whatever. Yeah. They're not really games. They're just straight up Ponzi schemes. And it's just a ticking time bomb until somebody runs away. So that was the first one. That was the first one right there.
You know what?
Dude just ran away.
Ships.
What about the other one? The pyramid building one.
I don't even. Should we even name them? I don't like.
Yeah.
I know. I don't even want to name them, but I heard. I saw in their chat because I'm in all the. Like I said, dude, I creep and crawl and don't step into the light, man. I'm in the darkest, deepest freaking rooms, man. And there's some stuff out there saying, oh, they exit scam, and there's some other, but I mean, and I put a little bit in. I mean, shoot, man. I mean, it's like tipping people. Some of this stuff, you just you got to go in there and see what's happening.
Shrimp gate.
Biggest scandal of the year, guys.
Biggest scandal of the year. Shrimp gate.
Fuck.
Did you lose your shrimp?
Oh, lost them all, man. I knew right away when I had to approve the contract to spend up to like 1 million hex. I was like, something's wrong here. Like, why am I approving this much? Like, can the wallet actually spend this much for me? I think approvals, I'm pretty sure, are just, you have the wallet now has the ability to spend that much, but it was still weird that I had to approve such a high limit for my hex.
Yeah. And the sad thing is that, I saw those guys in main chat, shilling, from the beginning of their project and, spamming it out there and all that kind of stuff. And, it sucks that they put that shit in the main community and get a few people to come over and donate, basically donate to them, So everybody needs to be real wise about the things that they get.
No long-term thinking, honestly, right? Because they were probably one of the first things. I mean, they're one of the first little game things I'd heard about, and dude, all they had to do is stick it out. I mean, half the time, like, all you have to do is just keep showing up every day, do some work, keep the community happy, talking. They could have made it, you know, it could, who knows? I don't know what it was. I never messed around with it, but
yeah,
you know what I mean? It's just people, just like, you're better off making a good product than making some bullshit. Like,
I mean,
why waste all this time?
People have no attention span. They got rat brains and they want to keep coming back. People want to look at a screen that shows them a number that's ticking up because their HEX dividend, their HEX stakes isn't good enough for them. You know, the potential to make life-changing money is not good enough for them. So they want to be able to stare at a screen and watch your little shrimp egg, you know, tick up every second. And they're just checking it. They're probably refreshing the page every 5 minutes. And there's a lot of people out there that just don't have a life. So they don't want to make anything. I mean, it's surprising.
Well, it's just like dropping quarters in a slot machine and watching the little numbers go round and round and round and round.
Degenerate behavior. I meant that as a joke when I talked about the shrimp on the stream. So I really hope nobody, you know, took me seriously on that.
Well, it was funny. I'm sure everybody thought it was funny. It was.
We were all giggling. We were all giggling.
I can't help feeling a little bit bad because, you know, there's that one guy that dumped like, you know, 100,000 HEX in the shrimp. That one poor motherfucker. But like everybody, I mean, even the Hexy thing, and people are going to get mad at me for that, but that might be just another, I don't know. I don't really know what it is. So you said you're going to have a guy come on and talk about it.
Well, there's people that, well, I was gonna talk to you a little bit about it because I know that you've been involved. You've had a couple of shows where you've kind of, you know, highlighted what they've done. And then, you know, for me, the jury was out watching them go from V1 to V2. See, okay, well, let's see how, you know, Junior swims on this one, you know, and they threw themselves off the pier into the water and they popped up and they started swimming. And I mean, as far as, you know, like Good Texture came on and was like, hey man, I don't see the point in this. You know, your HEX isn't good enough. And, you know, and I understand, you know, his point. You know, when you look at a solid project, HEX is a solid project. I mean, and we can talk about solid project, what a solid project HEX is. It's done. It's got a process that it goes through. It's immutable. You're making more HEX period into story. You know, compounded interest. I mean, beautiful thing. And then you've got something built on top of it, like a HEX Business.
Right.
And it's got all these different promises that it's going to make, which is, you know, kind of, you know, ICO-ish because it's like, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. And, you know, they came out and they said, hey, we're going to give divs and this and that. And so I put a little in there and said, okay, let's see what happens. And every day they paid out their divs and it was liquid and I can move it. I can freeze it. I can unfreeze it.
Listen, they've kept their promises so far, and it is promises. So it's a little antithetical to the whole no expectations type of thing because it's built on expectations, but that's okay. I mean, it brings more people in. It makes them stick around. From a game theory perspective, I see it almost like an hourglass where people don't necessarily have to lose, right? So if it costs 2,000 HEX to buy one Hexy on the website, and those are the only HEX that are being put into the dividend pool, that means that people are only going to get paid dividends when people are buying from the website. But if they can get a better deal on Uniswap, they're going to buy Hexy on Uniswap.
Yes.
Until the Hexy price on Uniswap goes above 2,000, and then they're going to start buying on the website again.
And
so then when people are buying on Uniswap because it's cheaper on there, there's no dividends going into the dividend pool, right? So there's not going to be any dividends. A lot of people are going to get frustrated with no dividends, and they might pull out their Hexy and sell it on the open market, which would bring the price of Hexy down again. And then when the price of Hexy goes down even further, I just see this loop happening where it's always going to be more expensive on the website in the long run. And you could get to a stage where it kind of dries up. So you have to have these cyclical, I guess, spikes of demand.
Pumps.
Otherwise, if there's a long lull, you could risk everything going down.
Sort of like the pendulum loses momentum, essentially.
Yeah, kind of. That's a good way to put it.
Right. Yeah, because it sort of seems like price is too expensive, go on the other side. It gets too expensive on this side, go back to the other way, and then
right.
Yeah,
it's great right now. It's great. I'm not gonna lie. I doubled the HEX that I put in there. I doubled it because there's so much hype because everything's brand new. Right. Everything's brand new. So it used to be 1,000 HEX per Hexy, and then now it's 2,000. So the open market price for my conversion is about double.
Yeah, I heard I haven't been, I've been trying to, they launched their iOS, what do you call it? Their test flight. So today, I was going to try and claim dividends from there, from the mobile website here. And I'm going to take a look right now real quick. And right now, it was just a little glitchy because, so it says, where the dividends are, it says that I can't claim. It doesn't have a claim button. Yesterday, it was like this also, and it was supposed to be working, the claim button. But I went onto the website and I claimed on the website. And then after I went back to my wallet inside my iOS device, the button showed up. So I'm just kind of sitting here waiting to see if maybe it just takes time for that button to show up or what. But I'm not able to claim from the iOS part yet. And again, like I said, those are little glitch issues. But when I go on the website, I can do it. And today, from what I understand, the divs were a little higher than they have been.
Right. I mean, the app works great from what I've tested. You might not have enough gas. That might be it. Because you do need gas to send a transaction to the contract.
But the button would still show up, wouldn't it?
Right.
Yeah. One of the issues is there's no notification if you don't have enough gas. So I was hung up for like an hour thinking, where's my deposit?
No, I got a lot of ETH in there. Wow.
All right. Okay.
Oh shit.
Never mind.
No, that's divs in there too.
It's good. It's been working fine. It's a really nice looking app.
Yeah. The ETH divs are nice. I think the ETH divs are looking nice.
Go ahead.
I mean, how can you complain when you stake a little and you're making divs like that? I mean, like you said, I've doubled my stack just putting it in there. I mean, I don't have a stack in there. I mean, I have a little bit in there, but it's it doubled, like you said, and it's paying every day. So I don't know. I my hat's off to them. Good job, guys.
Yeah,
and,
I like it. I want it to work out. I wonder how it's gonna be a continual thing forever.
How it's gonna
just gonna go indefinite. Like, it's great right now, and it's probably gonna be great all the way up until launch.
Yeah,
it's probably gonna continue to. People are gonna keep putting more money in.
And big pumps. Have some pumps. Yeah, have some pumps every now and then.
Unless there's a way they could adjust the price on the website or something.
Yeah,
so
well,
it doesn't get too out of sync.
Well, yeah, the price on the website is showing like almost $1 difference in USD.
Right.
I mean, yeah, it's constantly
from Uniswap.
Hex per hexi.
Yeah. Oh, so that price is static.
Oh, I actually forgot some big news. I just remembered this right now because you guys are talking about gas fees, and so one of the iOS. This is for, I think, Apple users only. So the Trust wallet, which is a wallet I kind of use sometimes to move funds around to buy on Uniswap for Hex and then other cryptocurrencies. the DApp app within those wallets got taken out of the iOS ecosystem completely because Apple said they didn't want it around.
Yeah, they've been known for doing that.
Yeah, so they took them out, except, watch this, Coinbase wallet was allowed to use it. Wow, right? How is that
their way in?
It's all about who you know. And I was like, fuck, man. It's like it's because when you have some sort of a mobile wallet that has DApp inside of it, what that basically does is you're allowed to be on a wallet and you're allowed to surf the internet inside of that wallet. So what you do is just set up bookmarks inside the app on mobile, and it's really safe. So you're always going to the exact place. You're not clicking on nothing. It's boom, boom, Uniswap, V1, V2, bookmark, and then done, right? Now you actually have to go on the browser, but if you try to do it, it doesn't let you on the wallet. So your wallet doesn't connect on mobile anymore. So they kind of mess things up a little bit for mobile users now that are trying to do stuff on the go, because like that was a big, I'm always on the go, so I like doing stuff through mobile, and then obviously moving off to like cold storage wallets after that. But
yeah, I mean on iOS, yeah.
Yeah, you still can do it on the Coinbase wallet, but it's Coinbase, so it's like, man, fuck, dude.
Let me answer real quick. So yeah, Kevin, I gave that a shot. I hit that refresh button and still nothing. So But again, like I said, little ticks like that. But
they're just trying to make it easier and easier. I wouldn't be surprised eventually they're gonna not make it like, I think you still could get Wasabi Wallet on mobile, but I'm pretty sure they're going to at one of these days.
Isn't that still connected to Tor on mobile?
I think, I'm not sure. I don't have Wasabi Wallet on mobile or anything.
Because I'm pretty sure I don't know if iOS would allow that. But you know, Brian Armstrong is, you know, he's in Silicon Valley. He's close to Apple. He can just weasel his way in there. It's it's VC Ponzi money. So
they're doing some dirty shit, man. It's supposed to be like an open ecosystem to do stuff and everything, but they're gatekeeping the crap. I mean, that's one thing I will give to Android sometimes, but the problem with Android is they let a lot of bullshit slide, a lot of bad stuff, apps with a lot. So you get less. Like on some iOS apps, you log in, there isn't like key logging software, or there isn't bullshit in the background, right? Like that one guy that lost his money, he had an Android and he downloaded an app, and that's how he got his funds stolen. Downloading a bad app.
I mean, I never recommend keeping significant funds on a mobile wallet, unless it's custodial, you know. But you don't want to do that long term.
Yeah. Here's another kind of fits in. Can you transfer your already staked HEX to a hard wallet so you can have a hard wallet seeds instead of the one on MetaMask, or can you only apply new stakes to the hard wallet? Well, you can take your MetaMask and destroy it basically by putting it on. You can transfer your MetaMask to a hard wallet, but your seed words or whatever. But then you have to, and then you can take it off your PC and then have that in your Trezor or Ledger. Isn't that correct? That's how it's done.
Yeah, I believe so. I've never done it myself. I've always had hard wallets from the get-go, but I think you can restore a MetaMask wallet onto a hardware wallet.
Yeah, and then you can remove it from your PC so it's not sitting there, and then you can restore it with your Ledger. But you won't be able to. Yeah, like you said, you won't be able to add a whole. You'd have to create. You'd have to put it back on in order to stake again, or you'd create a new stake wallet basically. If you went, if you didn't.
Yeah. That's why when you always try to do your stakes, make sure it's in the actual wallet you want to do all these stakes in before staking, So that's sort of like some of the homework you kind of have to do beforehand,
Good Texture says he made a wallet about it. So go check out Good Texture's YouTube channel. And he made a video on that, how to do that.
Oh, that's good.
So coffee, one of the subjects we were talking about was the influencers out there that I wanted to ask you about, and how you felt about the influencers out there. And they're, because I'm seeing the Hex community stroking these guys. I know they're big guys, and I know it's nice to not fuck with them and get them upset so they talk bad shit. And I ain't trolling them or anything, but I ain't gonna sit here and jerk them off either. That's for sure.
Right.
No, I never do. I think the quality of the content is low. And that's hypocritical, right? Because I'm not the best YouTuber out there either. Like, I could get a green screen and I could do a bunch of shit, but the content that these guys put out, like, I'll just rip on Suppo Man or like that Omar guy. It's just dry. They're just Googling, articles because they're going to do whatever's safe for their reputation. So you got a different mindset when you got 50,000 followers and you're getting paid from YouTube.
Yeah,
I understand not wanting to get anyone scammed, but they've also digressed to a point where, like, they don't even bother with the content anymore. They're all about just consistently putting something up for their viewers.
Yeah,
they don't want to do anything risky.
Well,
they're maintenance.
They're not talking. So we're talking. Okay, we don't want to do anything risky. So Hex, you look at Hex. I mean, I did a little bit of RG3 research, which isn't a whole lot, guys. It's not a lot, and on Icon. This is the coin that he put as number 5. So the biggest shit of his staking coins that Simpo Man did. Things out of South Korea.
Yeah.
The official news channel, all of their chat channels in Telegram have been labeled scam. Scam, and that just happened like a couple of days ago.
By who? By Telegram?
Yeah, you know how Telegram labels the chat room scams that are scams?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Wow.
Oh, you've never seen that?
No, I don't really. I've only been in really Hex Telegram channels, so I don't really.
Oh yeah,
So, yeah,
you won't
around
see
too
that in
much.
Hex.
So-
And see, that's the thing. I was just talking to Litecoin about that. We've got all these channels, and none of them are labeled scam. But if you literally go to,
I bet you I know what happened. If if I had to guess, some of the admins were saying, "Hey, let's rip off some of these people in this Telegram group, and hey, send icon to us, send this or that," and then people lost funds. I'm guessing that's probably what happened.
icon official chat,
God
deleted
damn, dude.
account, and there's a little red scam button right next to it. And I've seen that in a few other chats.
You know, that could be also what happens when you don't have a good admin that's not blocking the scammers. Because you know how every 5 minutes somebody will come in saying, Mike changed my life. All I had to do was send him 7 Bitcoin. He made me rich.
And that's not to say that they are a scam. I'm just saying they're Telegram channels that they had me go. So I went there and I tried to get. I talked to some people and said, "Hey, can you direct me where to go?" And they said, "Yeah, go to this one and this one." And they were very helpful. And I went and I loaded all those Telegram channels in and went into the chat rooms and started looking at information and whatnot. And then 2 days later, they're labeled scam. Right. And some of them are even shut down. And so what I was saying is that, everybody stroked, Simple Man for talking about Hex the day before.
Put up a good review. He had a lot of misinformation on there.
Yeah, it was a wishy-washy, freaking on the fence view.
I thought it was bad, but
I thought so too. And then so again, not letting these guys off the hook and their content.
The quality of research is so low. All you got to do is, if I was researching a coin, I would probably go in their Telegram group, right? And then I would have saw what you saw, RG3. I would have seen, this Telegram's been shut down. Like, what's up with that?
And that was like, I was in there chatting the day before, and then I go in there today, and it's shut down.
And he made a video today about it?
No, he made a video a couple of days ago. Because of his video, I went in there and did some research because everyone was talking like, "Oh, hey, he said this about Hex." Well, then the very next day, he said, "I'm going to talk about these 5 staking coins," and I was like, "Oh, cool. Let's see where he ranks Hex." And he didn't even make the top 5.
Oh,
so I was like, okay, so he wishy-washy. Then he protected himself by leaving it out of being a top 5 staking coin. So it was like, no, I'm sorry, F for effort there, buddy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, I think it comes from, everyone's on heightened awareness from being freshly wrecked in 2017. They don't want to let it happen again. That feeling is still really strong, resonating with them. And the one marketing flaw of Hex was at the very beginning, it was designed to look like a scam, right?
Yeah.
So that would have worked. That would have been awesome in 2015, 16.
Yeah.
I just think it was bad timing with the marketing. And then Richard Hart quickly realized and switched a lot of shit up. And then
I think you're right. It was like the lights came on and the cockroaches went,
Yeah. I think I even told Rich that too.
It was like Hex turned the light on. It was like the cockroaches went scurrying, hiding. Like, I ain't hanging out in this shit.
People like the appeal to complexity too. They like shit that they can't really understand. So if you say something like AI or Internet of Things, like, people will be all over the buzzwords.
Dude, I should make a crypto called Broken Promises. That shit's gonna go crazy. That's such a great name. I was like
broken promises and shattered dreams.
What's the smallest unit in your cryptocurrency, Litecoin? Oh, it's a rect.
It's a shard of a dream.
Isn't that a coin? Isn't rect a coin?
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, we got rect coin. You got pump coin.
Rect
I think there's a FOMO coin out there. This guy who made FOMO coin raised like $1 million during 2017.
Oh my god,
that's
something like that. I might have that wrong. He might have only raised a couple 100,000.
Nothing's more ridiculous than dentistry on the blockchain. That shit had me rolling, dude.
That's what we need, dude. That's the future.
And they're still running on $100 million too, dude. It's crazy.
You don't even need to go in and get your teeth cleaned. You just have the blockchain do it for you.
Though dentists do pay their bills, man. I will say that.
I mean, they make money.
Yeah, no, I think they're like the least defaults as a category are dentists. They pay their bills. Yeah.
How'd you know that?
Oh, I saw some article on it like a couple months ago and stuff, just saying what professions or have the lowest default rate, and it's dentist number one. Yeah, doctors are terrible. They default all the time. Yeah. Which I knew already. Yeah.
Hey, welcome, Big Krakowski in the chat room. Always. And Hex Yoda, what's up, brother? Let's see. Bad is still better than most of the stuff out there.
Dog, I made some money on Dentacoin.
Nice. Yeah, hey man, I my big claim to fame is Verge, so I ain't got nothing to talk about. I made my money off of some shit coins. So
they're trying to pump that so hard right now. They're trying to bring it back. I'm seeing it, man. I'm like, ugh.
Oh man, is McAfee back at it again? Didn't he pump it?
No. Well, back in 2017 he did.
He's all about Ghost right now. He's not.
Ghost is actually kind of potentially cool. I mean, Ghost could be a fiat on ramp for Hex if they list it.
Oh, didn't they say they're gonna
big if
add like trading pairs with Ghost to Hex?
Yeah, they were talking about on Twitter. They said retweet this if you want to add Hex to Ghost. GhostX.live, and it only has like 400 retweets, but I think it needed 2,000 to get it. So who knows?
Yeah.
Cool. So, so the other thing before we got somebody else coming on with us before I bring our other salty bro up. I'm like as salty as it gets in Hex, and then there's this guy here is about as salty as me. But you guys, DeFi is like. DeFi is the word now. DeFi, and it's like the craze. I wanted to talk about that a little bit because that's like the new buzzword, DeFi,
right.
And
or CeFi.
CeFi.
Yeah. CeFi
so,
and DeFi.
What are you guys seeing out there? What's floating your boat? What do you think of the buzzword? And is there anything really out there that's truly, what it's claiming to be?
I mean, go ahead,
in terms of DeFi, I would say maybe like Uniswap, but even Uniswap's not done upgrading itself. Like Hex is. I think Hex is actually fully DeFi. I mean, it's done already. So, you're just. It's
like Hex is the only DeFi product, but all the DeFi boys hate Hex. So
that's the weirdest.
In all my videos, I hashtag DeFi because I was thinking, we can piggyback on the DeFi meme. People like DeFi, and so if we can squeeze in there. We can be one of the DeFi platforms, which we are, but nobody wants to admit that. Everyone's all, got a boner over comp token because it rose and dropped because people are cycling US dollars and USDC and USDT through it. But that's risky and it's only going to last so long.
What is that thing?
It's a governance token, I think, for compound.finance. So all these governance tokens,
Richard
tweeted they're DAOs.
Yeah, it's just DAOs. It's just people that own the tokens get a say in the network.
It's government. It's governments. It's lords. Basically, like these DAO systems.
See, and I don't like that.
Bullshit. They're bullshit. They are bullshit, dude. Like
Maker.
Maker. Oh yeah, Maker was like so shitty as fuck that like they had to peg themselves to fucking USDC to get stabilized again. They broke the peg. That means like dies shit, bro. Like
because that always gets centralized when it's funny. Everything that I've ever seen that's been a governance deal has always ended up centralized, or like it's like lobby powers basically. So the group that wants to control the DAO, they kind of like use themselves like lobby powers. They group together. They say, well, this is the direction it's going to go. And then they take it that direction, and consensus amongst all the other little people doesn't mean shit. Right. Because it's the lobby power system. It's I don't think it's going to work in crypto because it's like lobby powers,
Right.
Yeah. And people are going to make the counter argument, the origin address owns 50%, right? That's centralization, but it's not the same because the origin address doesn't get any control other than economic policy by not selling, which we all.
Well, economic strength is all it has. That's all it has.
Yeah.
It is economic strength and power.
Right. But it's not going to be voting to change the code of the
contract. It can't change it.
It literally sits there, does nothing.
None of these projects have one user, one vote. None of them.
Well, like if there's a thing about quadratic voting that might not always be a good thing. One user.
I know, but that's what people want. I mean, it's kind of like the thing of like people want democracy, right? But they're like, oh fuck, we're democracy, but 80% of us are a bunch of dumbasses who don't know what the fuck we're doing. Like this is something like even the founding fathers had problems with. That's why they made like a republic, and then eventually they made it a you had to have land to vote. You had to have land to vote, and then you had to vote on your representative, which would go to Washington, which is far away or whatever. So it's always been a clusterfuck.
Yeah, it's hard. It's like you should have to take a test or something.
So boy, Mousetrip says Hex has the perfect market fit, and how come every time I go to click on what I want, it gives me something else? I didn't mean to put that up there, Mousetrip. Let's see. There it is. It's Crypto Goose. As soon as I go to click it, the thing moves and it flips something else. So DeFi has to have zero counterparty risk, and that's Hex. And there isn't anything else out there that has zero counterparty risk that I've seen. You know,
they all have counterparty risk. They all do. They all do. Especially if they're attached to a stable coin, like. Right, like I'm not trying to shit on Tether because like over time I'm starting to kind of like what Tether is, because Tether is supporting the entire crypto space through keeping like blocks full on a lot of projects and investing money here and there, but they could get attacked, and then that means a lot of companies could get like fucked if that stable coin were to go down, you know.
Yeah. So now it's time to talk about Hex, and I'm gonna bring Mr. Salty in to help to make it even saltier in here. Here he is, Johnny Chaos. What's happening, bro?
Howdy, folks. How goes it?
What's up, dude?
It's good, man.
Hanging out here in the back room, listening to all this conversation here, going, yeah, sounds about right.
So we got salt, vinegar and salt, and then here's the potato chips right here.
Oh, yeah.
You're a Dorito motherfucker. What are you talking about?
You're a flaming hot Cheeto, dude.
There we go. Extra hot, please.
Extra hot flaming Cheeto.
So
asteroids.
How do you like seeing all these lists, folks? All these lists of all these DeFi coins, and us not being on there, even though we've got a
the only
million market cap in the league.
I mean, we're going to be too hard to ignore eventually. Everyone's got their price.
Well, they're not ignoring us. They're just not saying the right things. They're talking shit.
Listen, man, everyone's got their price. Maybe it's 1 penny, maybe it's $1, but people will come around once they realize how much.
I think definitely we're going to see a change once we hit a penny. Then it becomes real money. You know, they're not understanding. I mean, we still see people posting. It's like, well, Hex is down. Yeah, but why are Hex is staked? It's making more. So it can go down 50%. We're still making that Hex. So you're not getting the point. You're not understanding what it is, you know?
Yeah. And I'm really excited for when the launch phase is over, because then what do you have left? What argument do you have left? If there's no dump on big payday, or even if there is and Hex survives, what do you got?
It's like as time goes on, they have less and less to fucking bitch about. It's like every month, it's like we're just pulling things away from the argument. It's like, what do you guys have left? Come on, bring it on.
It's been a little quiet though.
Well, you can't talk smack about Hex on Twitter because 50 people gang up and beat the crap out of you, and we're not bots. We're real people, you know. And it's like the crypto that shall not be named. You know, they're really trying to stay away from it, trying not to mention it. So I mean, again, we got to kind of encourage people to go ahead and say the word Hex. But on the same note, I'm with RG on the fact that, you know, we can't just give these guys props just because they're saying the name,
right?
You know, and they're not really necessarily saying anything good about it. But
say my name, bitch.
Say my name.
Yeah. Beep boop, beep boop, beep boop.
Yeah, you know.
And it's funny that we're the bots, right? We're the bots, and
you know what? I don't ever see any
faces.
Yeah, I don't see any of them out there. The rest of the communities, you know, they're not. I don't know. Are there any other communities that have as many YouTube channels as we do that get out there and show our faces on a regular basis? Have a guy that goes out every single friggin' day and does a news, you know, report on the coin and the community itself. You know,
you don't have people that are diehards for any kind of token because they don't want to put all their eggs in one basket because they're not confident enough in any of their one currency. So you've got all these little guys like giving you your top 10 altcoins because that's what's going to get you views.
Yeah, but and so But then to flip that on its head, the only reason that we're all doing channels is because we finally look. I couldn't go on stream and do what those guys do, because to research all those projects and get slapped in the face every time one of them exit scams or fucks up or shuts down or is like, that's bullshit. I wouldn't want to do that. So I would never do that.
Yeah.
The only reason I did it for HEX is because I said, hey, this is an awesome project. It's a solid crypto. It's the only crypto I've ever seen that is a finished product that is not going to exit scam on me. And then I looked at the community and said, man, this community needs to be highlighted. This community needs to be out in front of everybody. Everybody needs to know who's involved. There's some smart fuckers in here. And there's some, motivated fuckers in here. Some other guys that see this like I do.
Right.
So we need to have these channels. We need to talk about it so that people understand what this thing is, because everyone else out there is fudding it. And that's why I wanted to do it, was because wait a second. We're not bots, and this isn't Richard's deal, and he's not freaking, we're not following him and doing shit because we think of the almighty Richard or some shit. Fuck you guys. Look at the project, man. Look at this crypto. Look what it's doing. Look how it's built. You keep talking about DeFi and all this other stuff, and you guys are still shilling your Bitcoins and your exchanges and all this other old crap that's already dying. It breathing its last breaths of crypto. This is where it's at, and that's cool because we've got a community that's supporting that. And you don't see that elsewhere. You don't see other cryptos doing what we're doing.
You don't even have any YouTubers that only talk about one coin. How many YouTubers other than Tone Bays, but that's Bitcoin, right?
It's not their business model.
Yeah.
Not even
it's not their business model. Their business models get paid and talk about a currency.
Yeah.
ETH bros talk more about altcoins than anyone else. Like, they don't even talk about Ethereum the entire time. They're talking about projects that are going to be launched on Ethereum more.
And they shouldn't, because they are. They're all they are is, a vehicle. They're a vehicle to move another crypto that's going to go do something. That's what ETH is, and that's what it should be, and it should be touted as doing that and being that, and hey, good job, ETH. But
I don't even think XRP has a quarter of the YouTubers we have.
I haven't seen a real XRP person on the internet ever in my life.
The Modern Investor is the only one, and this is, I don't know, and he just barely showed his face. I mean, he makes good content. He does the news or whatever he does, but he's got a very, he's very XRP. He loves XRP, but there's nobody else.
To XRP is they have a budget of XRP that they hold 60% of to dump on your head every month.
Yeah.
What else? Sorry, go ahead.
Hey, Crypto Goose, when did you come over to HEX? That's kind of cool. You said you're from the XRP community, sold all your bags.
Cool. And
now you bought HEX. I mean, welcome. First of all, I've seen you around for a little bit, though. I don't think this is the first time you've been in the chat or you've been around. So, but if you are from over there, good Textures had like a program trying to bring the XRP guys over and help them out. And we appreciate you coming over, and welcome to the community. We're not a glum lot over here, that's for sure, man. And
although I feel like I've seen you around before, Crypto Goose. You've been here for a little bit.
Yeah, I think he has been. I think he has been around for a little bit. I've seen his name, that's for sure.
Good texture said XRP has.
You guys notice? Go ahead, Matt.
Good texture said XRP has tons of real face YouTubers. I guess I'm just, biased by what I look at. You're probably right.
Yeah, I haven't seen a bunch of them myself. I know that their biggest, and he's not really an XRPer, but he's kind of a shill, is what's his name? Omar. Omar does a lot, talks a lot about him. He used to anyway. I don't know if he does anymore. I haven't watched him for a while either.
There's a ton of XRPers that have been buying around this 15, 20 cent range, that they're just waiting for a pump, and then they're just going to dip out, dude. They're probably so tired because it's so boring,
I think people latch on to things like that, maybe because they like the familiarity. They like something that has a bunch of partnerships of, I know that bank makes a lot of money, so this fake partnership is going to make me a lot of money. So maybe that's the reason. I don't know.
What we're seeing is, as top 5 coins are coming back to haunt us. Some of us had those coins that are all popping up on the top 5 list, and they're down 95, 98%. And people are like, oh, but this coin is great. Like it's something new, like it just came out. And it's like, really? Do you not know there's a chart that goes way back, and we heard the same stories 3 years ago that you're telling us now.
Right.
And I don't see it ending any better. I'm not just going to throw names. I don't want to hurt anybody's bags or anything, but those coins have taken a dive, and I hate seeing these videos where they're pushing people again, going, "Oh, buy these coins, buy these coins. They're going to be the next hot coins." And it's like, did you film this 3 years ago and you're just replaying it or what? Because we've already heard all those promises. We want something that actually does something.
Right. I'm not trying to act like I'm better than all these guys. I bought a lot of bullshit in 2017 too, but then I sold it all in 2018.
Yeah.
See, and I hear exactly what you're saying, Coffee. It's like, I don't feel better than all of them, but I'm very adamant about, look, if you're in crypto and you've been in crypto for a while and you're wrecked and you're still believing in crypto, HEX is what you're looking for. And that's why I'm very passionate about HEX and getting it out there to people, because there's a new home. There's a place for you. There is a crypto out there that's doing what we always wanted to be done. And it's HEX. And that's why we're all out here shouting at the rooftops. I mean, yeah, we've all got bags and we want HEX to be successful. But really, when it comes down to it, when you're talking about, well, I'm in it for the tech, well, HEX is the tech that you've been in it for.
Right.
Look at the code, look at the white paper, look at what it's doing. Use it, get some from somebody. I'm sure I'll bet you anybody in HEX would be willing to, if somebody came to them and said, hey man, I'm interested in this. Would you show me how to do it? Show me how to get some or whatever. Hey, look, I'm going to throw you 500. I'm going to show you how to use it, show you how to do it or whatever. I know anybody, Hexo does it all the time. I mean, it's getting a little more expensive to hand people HEX. I mean, I've done it, but I mean, I don't see why any of us wouldn't help somebody use it and show them how easy and simple it is to, use the contract and make it work for them. Here, let me show you how to stake it for a day or two. Here you go. Boom, boom. Show you you could trade it on Uniswap and it's that simple. You show them what to do with it and they'd be like, well, damn. And then how much divs can I get? How does this work? How do I stake and make dividends off of that? I mean, that's what I think anybody would be willing to do that, the whole community. So
I think Coffee's got a good with the gaming community would be a good place to onboard people because of the people that have been wrecked and we're tired of the same old games. And I think it'd be easier to onboard people because, I mean, if you look at the crypto space, it's really such a small percent. And we've got all the gatekeeping going on. These people that are in power are going to stay in power. They're going to protect what's dear to them. They're going to hate on it. They're going to try to ignore it. But new onboards in new areas, if we could teach them how to do it, that's what's going to matter. Because I mean, there's a lot of people in the crypto sphere that are like, oh, well, that's too complicated. I've got to add this and I've got to add that. That's too scary for me. I've got to do some stuff. And they're the ones that everybody's taking advice from. It's mind blowing.
Talking about that yesterday with Gary. I did a stream. You can watch it, but I'll just repeat myself again. We got to get into the adjacent communities, and gamers are one of the biggest ones.
Yeah.
Because they're familiar with digital assets. They understand that when you buy a skin in Fortnite, it's not real, but it has value to them. Mm-hmm. So they've already been familiar with the concept and they're acclimated to something that another person might say, well, what's backing that? There's nothing backing that.
Warcraft, RuneScape.
They've made that mental leap. And HEX is basically a game and a community. Yeah.
So how about like Discord and Dlive, and I mean all these are gaming communities that we're involved in. Okay, I'm sorry. X Toshi's asking, RG, what chat are you watching? So guys, I'm a little fucked up when it comes to all the chats because Hexo gave me this chat that is Restream's chat, which shows me Dlive, and it looks like it shows me there's YouTube, Dlive, and so far that's it. But I pushed it to Periscope and Twitch. So we do have Twitch. I posted that today too, if you looked at the stuff. But so I am watching Hextoshi and Bran. I see you guys in there in Dlive now. I don't have it set up like Hexo does yet, but I'm working on it so I can see all you guys in there. So if you do have some questions, I am watching the chat. So if you have questions and you guys are in Dlive, you know, you can go ahead and chat in there.
I love Dlive too. It's the way I described it to Gary the other day was it's a smaller room, but it's easier for Hexologist's voice to be the only voice in that room and really reverberate a lot more because there's such a smaller audience. So he's on the front page every day. Yeah. And even though you have a smaller audience, that almost works backhandedly well for us because they see that and they're like, oh, who is this guy? Why is he wearing a funny lab coat? You know, I got to go check him out.
Yeah.
And then you get on there. And this might be a slow way to get adoption, right? But it's on a 1-by-1 basis that I think you could actually go and follow people on Dlive that have a low following, say 20 followers or less, and strike up a conversation in their chat. Because a lot of times they're bored and they're looking for just company and someone to hang out with. So it's kind of like you can go into these guys' living rooms and just hang out with them while they're playing video games. I did it with some guy named Pancake 101. He's playing a game, you know, he wasn't very good at it. And I get in there, I'm like, hey, dude, have you ever heard of cryptocurrency? Like, what do you think about lemons? You know, what do you think about? And then I mentioned Hex, but obviously you don't want to be weird about it. But that's what I think is a good 1-to-1 sell for a lot of people.
That's a great strategy.
Yeah, and that's slow. So I wanted to tell everybody that get on our Dlive and go over there and subscribe. And it's right now it's going to say Discourse Syndicate, but right now it says RG3_pirate. And there's 2 accounts there, but that's the one you want, RG3_pirate. And I posted that today. So that's where it's at. There is people in there. I know there's another one that I have that I was going to use for personal, but the RG3_pirate is actually where we're streaming right now. So I'm almost certain that we're going to be removed from YouTube at some point in time. You know, if it happened to Hexologist, I'm sure it's going to happen to us. So I'm prepping for it now. I'm trying to get set up. And so if you would go over there to Dlive and subscribe to us, because I know we have a lot of subscribers. We're growing here on YouTube channel. But if that turns around tomorrow and it's gone, then we're going to probably lose a lot of those viewers. So if you would, please go over to Dlive and subscribe to that. And then that way we won't have to worry. We can have all the smutty, crappy, shitty language and stuff. And
can you play any music? Can you play any music on Dlive?
On Dlive, I think you can, but I don't think that you can. I don't know if they have any copyright issues or anything like that yet. I'm not sure. I don't know.
When I start doing live streams, I'm gonna love to blast music live streaming. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, they I had to be very careful with, for instance, when Ministry of Hex, he made our new intro, so we had to be really careful with how that he has copyrights to all of his stuff, so he told me I could use it and we're good. And then of course the intro that I had, I pulled that off of Commons, off of YouTube Commons, so that was, it's free to use too. So, but trying to walk along the eggshells with all these guys, but it isn't easy. And I'm sure, I mean, like I said, if they got Hexo and booted him for whatever reason, they found that they needed to, it's probably going to happen to us too. So go over to Dlive and subscribe, please.
Dlive and how is library? Is library okay? I know we're also on.
It's okay. It kind of sucks. I mean, it's slow. It's like a slower, shittier YouTube, but Hex is always on the front page of library. Yeah. It's awesome. There's always one or two videos on the front
what's
page.
His name? What's his name's on there? Like, he's like #1 all the time. Dude from BitConnect, the other guy.
Trayvon?
No, not Trayvon, the other guy. One that sings all the time. Hex, oh Hex. You don't heard that guy? Craig.
Yeah,
Craig. Yeah, Craig. I'm like,
oh, Craig, right?
Yeah, Craig does it.
He sings.
He sings horrible too. He just starts off the show. Oh, Hex. Oh,
No way.
it's bad, dude. It's bad.
See, I think it's interesting how a lot of these things we were talking about that are built on Hex that have faceless entities or whatever that could possibly run off with things think that it's a bright idea to come into our chat and try to sell us on it, and they're assuming that we're idiots because we already into this thing that's supposedly a scam. So we're just going to jump right on board and go along with them on these things that have have loopholes and everything else. It's like, have you actually looked at our community and talked to the people? Do you realize that, most of us are not going to go over there? You're kind of marketing to the wrong group.
So far. We got a question here. It's kind of interesting from Market Militia. He said he gets the gamer argument, but honestly thinks Hex was designed more for boomers mentality-wise. And I've been trying to figure out who is the ideal target user for Hex, right? But I think it's so broad that I don't know if you can niche it down to, boomers or gamers or any one thing.
It originally was a boomer product for, because it's a bank product, but the beauty of Hex is that depending on how your lifestyle, you can make it for your lifestyle. So you can give yourself a weekly income, a monthly, a yearly big payout, a birthday payout.
I did that.
Yeah. But it's just it's more of like planning of what do you want to do with it. It's really versatile. We're like on some of these bonds and stuff, like you're kind of, there's the 1 year, 5 year, 10 years. That's it,
Yeah. CDs are so boring, man.
Yeah. They're terrible, dude. They give you nothing, but this is like the best CD ever with a slider. It's almost like you choose your own adventure.
For sure.
Yeah. But you're choosing your adventure. So don't cry when you choose your time.
Not on anybody else's website.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So when you're out there on those gamer type, platforms like what's the one we're always, our Discord or any of those? I mean, how receptive is the gaming community to the crypto community? I mean, obviously they're synonymous, but I mean,
close.
Do you guys get people? I mean, what's the way to kind of market into that is, how do you get people like looking at our content or looking at Hexo's content from like Discord? Cause that's a big community in there.
Yeah. I mean, with Discord, you've got if you're already in some communities, maybe if you already do play some games, then you could go in there. I feel like with Telegram and Discord, you have to have somewhat of a reputation in these channels. Right. You can't just barge in and start shilling stuff. People don't really appreciate that. But on real live streams, especially when there's only about 5 people in the chat, the guy wants someone to talk to. The guy literally wants you to engage with him, right? So you can talk about anything you want. He's just happy to have somebody there to keep him company. And then you could say, hey, maybe after this, check out Hexologist, or what do you think about lemons? Or, toss him a lemon or two. And, you can do that on Twitch as well, I guess. But to me, Dlive just seemed like some low-hanging fruit, kind of.
Well, the kicker with Hexo's show is he's kind of doing the reporting, which shows the deep amount of statistics that Hex has that no other coin has. But unfortunately for the newbies, they need someone more like you, Coffee, to break it down and actually explain to them what it is and how to work it and stuff.
Right.
Because Hexo's show is basically catering to the Hexer audience. We know what's going on. We know what stats he's reading off. So it's a little bit different.
Yeah, maybe that should be the direction I go. I don't know what my channel really is all about. It's at this point, it's just me, vomiting all my thoughts at you. But in the future, maybe I can make it more, streamlined to the new guy. I don't know.
But that's good because it brings up discussion. It brings up, action items, just the intelligent guys out there that understand crypto in depth like you do, need to be putting those questions and those things out there and answers and stirring the everyone's mind to, put out more content. Because a lot of times I hear the things you say and say, oh, well, let's elaborate. Let's talk on this, or let's talk about this, or how does this fit in with the community, and like, for instance, and I have a lot of respect for you. Give me Liberty or give me Hex. And I understand you're making dinner for your kids and all that kind of stuff. And the vulgarity, might be a little much for you. But I said from the beginning, this show, it's just going to fly here. So it's not a show for kids. It's not a show for, people who have queasy stomachs. I don't care if this, damages noobs or people that, don't like vulgarity, come in here and it turns them off. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to be myself, be honest, and give a platform for everybody, just to say what they want, because I'm not going to be censored by anybody or try and, pat the snowflakes on the back and make a place for them to I'm not going to censor myself for anybody. And when I have something to say, when I have a fuck you to say, I'm going to say a fuck you to you. And that's just the way it is. And there's a lot of people out there in crypto that need to hear fuck you. And that's just who I am. Sorry. My own kids hear it.
I wouldn't play a Richard Hart video around my kids, but
and he's the whole leader of the project. So that's what Discourse Syndicate is about. It's we're gonna talk about some shit here, and it's gonna get real.
I wouldn't trust a YouTuber that doesn't cuss.
I respect that kind of shit. Whatever. I respect that kind of stuff. And when I saw Richard Hart, he's so different in the fact that I felt like he was actually being himself. I don't like when people put on a show and I can kind of see they're trying too hard. Yeah. The authenticity goes a long way, and everyone in the community seems to be authentic. There's nobody weaseling their way around there, tiptoeing around stuff. And crypto was invented to get rid of censorship too. Exactly. So now everyone's trying to cater to, if I say something distasteful, I'm not going to get VC funded,
Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely not going to be any VC funding coming into our show, or probably any monetization or anything like that. But that's not what it's here for, So
brought to you by Kellogg.
Did you just say that?
Yeah. Something that was effective, that the big scam, BitConnect did, and something was effective in their marketing, was they would have a person walk through what they were doing. They were putting their money in, they were putting a loan or whatever. Okay, we know that was all BS, but what they were doing was they were walking people through the steps of what it takes to do that. Like, for instance, we don't have any videos. Hexo kind of started doing that by showing his shares. He's got one share that's staked for X amount of years, one stake for another, but nobody's creating any content where, like, okay, today I'm going to stake this many coins and I'm going to purchase
Conrad does
coins. Does he do a little of that?
Yeah, Conrad does some.
I haven't caught him.
Some pretty good in-depth, views of how to stake and all those things. And who else was doing it? I saw somebody else doing that.
He's not getting the views, though. He's not really getting a lot of views, though, is the problem there.
Seems to be.
I wonder why. I don't know.
That's what I'm trying to.
Because he doesn't cuss.
Because
that's it.
Well, his content is actually really good. It's spoken at a level where most people can understand it. He comes at it from a perspective where he's trying to explain it to people that are kind of non-crypto users that haven't heard of cryptocurrency. I think he does a really excellent job. Just he's not getting the views. He really isn't. He's not getting the likes. He's not getting the views.
Mm-hmm.
With time, with time.
Yeah.
Just takes a minute.
Hey, look, the next big bull run that we have, leading up to big payday. I mean, all of our channels are going to, grow exponentially with people onboarding and coming in and all the FOMO that happens. People are going to be interested in looking at what's going on. And, at that point, it's going to be, up to us to, let people know what's happening and to quell their fears and, give them the confidence to know that they made a good decision. This is what HEX is all about. All the things that you may have heard, because all of the things are going to continue to get rehashed. So you're going to get people that when somebody onboards, and one of the things that's going to be important is for them to have a place to to help with their buyer's remorse, because people are going to get in, they're going to stake, and that emergency end stake button is going to be there, and all of a sudden they're going to see all of that FUD that's out there, because there's a lot of old FUD that's just going to get recycled, and they're going to see it all and they're going to go, oh shit, I made a huge mistake. I got to get my money out. And a bunch of them are going to get wrecked, and I mean, we can roll our eyes and go, they deserve it. But really they don't, because those are new people coming in, and it's not cut and dry what's going to happen to you if you emergency end stake. They need to understand what's going to happen to them when the FOMO starts and the FUD is still there and those new people start to come in. They need a place where they can come and listen to people telling them, hey, look, you did the right thing. Now you need to sit back and hold off. There's all this FUD out there. There's all this bullshit about this and that and the OA and, all this other stuff. It doesn't mean anything. You need to take a look at the project, take a look at what's solid, look at all of us that have been here since, the beginning, what this is really all about. So we're going to have to be there to help those people.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. Get ready to repeat yourself.
Yeah. And that's what we have to do. And Hexologist does that all the time. He's always talking about, somebody will come on their chat room and say, hey, how do I stake HEX? And he'll say, well, what you want to do is you want to go to the AA lobby first. And he starts explaining to them, where they go. I'll throw the link up here. And he does it for them every time. He doesn't say, hey, get out of here, noob. The chat room doesn't, blast those people or whatever. It's that courtesy that we're all going to have to, give to everyone as the FOMO starts and as the things start growing. We're going to need to be there for the noobs.
For sure. And you remember during the last bull run, I mean, that's where everybody got their subscribers, right? You look at somebody like Data Dash that's still going after the last bull run. He's got 300K subs, but he only regularly gets about 37,000 views. Yeah. And that's a lot of views, but the engagement went way, way down after money dried up. Yeah. So that's probably going to happen again, maybe on a little bit less of a scale, but get ready for that to happen as well. I think the big payday might be timed perfectly with the kickoff of the next bull market.
Right.
Maybe.
I think everybody that supports HEX is going to be replacing the old YouTubers because they'll be on the right side of history. And people are going to want to go with what's right, what's correct. And the people that made them miss out on the opportunity is going to make them obsolete.
Well, they're all placing themselves right on top of that fence so they can fall over on the HEX side when it all goes down.
Yeah.
Well, they're trying, but I mean, again, we remember them. There.
Are we going to be abusive to them though? Are we going to? I mean, come on. If Suppleman says tomorrow, "Hey, I made a mistake. I should have talked about HEX. I should have shown it in a light. I was wrong." Do you think that we're going to give him shit for that, or are we going to bring him in with open arms?
I'm going to be a dick to one guy.
I'm asking you guys because I know how I'm going to act, but I'm asking you guys.
No, I'm gonna be.
No, I have a problem with it because I'll tell you, a lot of these guys were just shillers, and I mean, even we do have people that have come into the HEX community because they wanted to shill it, no other reason, not because necessarily they, it seemed to be the flavor thing to do, not because they believe in the project, just because, hey, I can make some money here, I can get in, I can get out, and life would be good. Because they're still thinking in that old term mentality of pump and dump. And they're thinking that because up until now, that's what it's been. And when they see this and they don't really understand it, they're still thinking, okay, it's got a 2-year lifespan tops, right? So it's still an in and out sort of mentality. But I don't think that's how it's going to work out at all. I really think that this is a long, you have to have a short term, a mid-term, and a long-term strategy, or you're screwed. You end up like Knightley going, I made my money, I got out good. I'm happy that I gave away my $700,000 for 120 ETH. Way to go, bright guy. You had it all figured out, didn't you? Enjoy your copy coin.
You said
that nobody's going to want to deal with because you're an arbitrage guy. Oh, I should know. But, when you got a guy that's an arbitrage guy and he's setting up a coin, he's telling you it's better than the coin that he just got out of. That pumps like crazy after he got out of it. I've got he's an arbitrage guy.
Yeah, well, there's that. And if anyone's got the link to that video, hopefully somebody archived that video, because anybody in
it's out there because Ministry used it to do a video.
Right, but he used the one where he
Ministry. That was the sweetest video ever.
That was awesome. I'm really glad he saved that. But there's another video where he talked about how his only strategy was to buy on AA and sell on Uniswap to basically dump the price down. He made a video thinking that was like a cool thing that he was doing.
Watch this. Somebody in Hex, one of our guys has it. I'll bet you anything.
I mean,
somebody's
got archived his whole channel, maybe hopefully back in the day, but
somebody's got it.
Other than that, I mean, there's one Reddit link that just destroys the whole reputation of that guy.
Yeah. Let's just not talk about him anymore, man. Giving this dude like breath of air, man. Fuck that.
Yeah. He the best thing ever was when he went on and shilled Hex on another channel with some other dickwads, and he had to defend Hex the whole time. As soon as he tried to shill his coin, he got jacked. Like, shut up, we're done with you. That was great. But anyway, and then the other one, somebody said Mr. TV. I won't even say his fucking name because I can't stand that son of a bitch. I hope I don't ever even meet him. But that guy's another one that he probably won't say anything decent about Hex ever, only because he's got so much egg on his face. But thanks, Johnny. I knew you were going to stay with me, and we're going to be salty together and jack those guys up when they do come over here. Come expecting open arms, and everybody else you guys please, everybody. Be warm and welcoming to them when they come over and they
at 25 cents.
Yeah. At 25 cents. And then me and Johnny will bitch slap them.
A lot of those influencers over the time, man, they say, okay, not financial advice, but it makes you look. When they mention a coin, you're going to look at the coin and you're going to say, well, maybe I'll throw $100 there. Let's see what happens, right? So they do have impact, and a lot of them got me some shit bags, and I really have lost respect for them, especially seeing what project we're in now, seeing what it actually does, and watching them turn their back on it like it's not even there. Amazing.
Been sitting down for too long. Yeah, so
I need
one thing that Good Texture opened my eyes up to was how much buzz price predictions can generate. Mm-hmm. And I love the fact that he's out there giving price predictions, because I really didn't have the balls to do it. And, the thing about predictions is they're wrong most of the time, but they're fun to make. And it's almost like they're harmless in a way. And even if they're not harmless, he actually gives good foundational reasons about why he's given them. What do you guys think? Do you guys have any predictions of your own?
Well, the show always goes there. This show always goes there. We always have a price discussion. So
had to.
Why not do it? And but I always assumed that it's going to take a lot of financial energy to create the market cap that's going to bring the coin's price up. And not the case. I'm completely wrong in that. And I sat down and had an in-depth talk with Good Texture about it. Lots of times on Telegram, we had some big discussions about it. He's been on the show and we've talked about it. And now that I understand the math better, it doesn't. We've seen financial energy come into HEX and blast it, and not a lot either. We're talking the first whale. Does anybody remember how many millions? Was it 1 point something million that came in? The first big jump.
10,000 ETH.
10,000 ETH.
Million buy.
Yeah.
Or 2 million maybe.
2 million. Yeah, it was closer to 2 million. I think it might have been 1.7. I think ETH was like $173 at ETH or something at that time, or something like that. Yeah. So a couple $1 million shot that sucker up like nobody's business. And I was like, wow, it doesn't take much. And then I heard Richard say, hey, $3 million can move this thing to the freaking moon on Uniswap,
Yeah.
So I'm like, wait a second. So as Good Texture started to explain it to me, and I'll just tell you now, I'm just gonna dime him out. And he's done the math with me, showed it to me. 33 cents is freaking his low ball. That's really his low ball. I'm serious. And I'm like, no, dude, really. And I'm serious, man. That's the freaking low ball, because the FOMO and the momentum of HEX picking up steam towards big payday is just going to continue to snowball and get exponential, and it might run over any 33 cent barrier or 10 cent barrier or 3 cent barrier like it's nothing, because once the whole community starts to see what's happening and the buzz starts to happen, it's only going to take a couple of little, and these are gray swan events, not black swan events. I'm talking about like an influencer doing a total flop and saying, no, I made a mistake. This is really a good project, blah, blah, blah. Just one influencer like that, dude. And that's gray area shit right there, because they're already on the fence. It's not going to take much for one to fall over. It's not going to take much FOMO for one to realize that, hey, I can get all my fucking viewers back if I just, jump on this one, because this one's going to be good, because I mean, that's their nature, because when the coins were running in 2017, they were all jumping on their bandwagons. The XRP guys were shilling XRP when it was going to the moon. The Litecoin guys were running on Litecoin. Everybody was jumping on, and I'm telling you, they're going to jump on when HEX does it. And once that starts happening, those gray swan events started happening, and some people.
Why is it okay? Why is it okay to say $589 XRP, but it's not okay to say 33 cent HEX?
Well, no, I don't think anybody said it's not okay. I just think that, I think that we're all being very conservative about it too, because I've seen coins do a lot more, a lot faster.
88 cents for Chinese New Year.
Like the whole Chinese New Year thing. Remember that? That was insane. It was like, I remember that was like all the rage. Everyone was talking about the Chinese New Year thing happening, and that was what kicked it off and did all this shit. So, I mean, it's not going to take much financial energy to move HEX. It's not going to take many events to start a perpetual motion of a snowballing effect. As soon as those little gray swan events start to happen, that's going to help it even more. And then who knows what happens in there, some type of there's a lot of things that people that have big bags of ETH can do to make that price really start moving and perpetually, growing perpetually. I mean, just
it really only takes whales.
Takes whales, and
it really it takes a couple whales, and you'll move it. And the thing is, it takes so much more economic energy to move, Bitcoin, but it takes next to nothing to move something like HEX. So why everybody's waiting for that all-time high of Bitcoin to go back to 20,000, HEX going up to right now, it's just, a little bit more than half a penny is double. So, your same amount of money, whether you own a fraction of a Bitcoin or whether you have it all in HEX, is going to make the same exact return, except when it's in HEX, you're actually making interest while it's sitting there and going sideways. So when the whales catch on, it's on.
Be patient. The next few weeks, The slowness will hurt. Oh, it's already hurting, man. Right now, it's hurting. I felt it last show we did. I felt it so bad, man. I was so freaking bored. The conversations were so drawn out, but right now I'm feeling the tension. I'm feeling like this motherfucker is going to spring at any moment. And me and Good Texture were having some fun on Twitter yesterday. And I put some tweets out. I said, look, just imagine. So we're looking at this thing like, okay, it's binding up, it's binding up, it's binding up. Now imagine if you're a fucking whale and you got like, you're ready to dump a couple $1 million in 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to tell you right now, I know of two myself personally of two whales that have already gotten into HEX that are probably going to put more in. Two. Mm-hmm. I know of. And I'm sure there's more. I'm sure there's probably, at a low ball, there's probably 5 whales sitting there waiting to pull the trigger right now. Waiting for HEX to make one more dip, or for one of them to flinch. It's like a Hexican freaking standoff right now. The Hexican whale standoff, I called it on Twitter. So they're all sitting there with the guns on each other, right? They're like, okay, well, somebody's going to pull the trigger. And once one of them pulls the trigger, they all fire, Right. And that's what I think is about to happen right now. That's just what I think. That's just my opinion, is that there is some big whales getting ready to pull the trigger on this thing, and the tension is mounting because this thing is so bound up and sideways, man. It's like, oh, flinch. Somebody just has to flinch right now. One little dip. So imagine there might even be some people out there that can make them flinch.
Yeah. And the beautiful thing is, at this point, I know a whole lot of that's not liquid, right? I know at this point we've probably shaken out all the guys that were gonna sell.
Yeah.
Right. And even though it's not staked, I consider maybe the OA, I don't consider that very liquid at all. So
but if we see one big dip, that's the flinch. And I think that's what's going to kick it all off.
I think you're right.
But it's just, I mean, that's just a could. That's a what if. That's a what if grasshoppers have machine guns and birds won't fuck with them, right?
Oh my God.
No, that's what I call a what if.
Yeah. I think they want heat seekers though.
So
I saw a couple big dumps that there were people were taking profit, and it looked like there were a couple that went in that sold off, and it's like, yeah. About the time you start seeing those big sell-offs happen, that's when the weekends are out, and I think the bounce is coming.
Yep. And there becomes new weekends, and we do it all over again. We just, the whole chart is going to look like it's kind of like socket wrenching up. It's not going to be a steady growth. It's going to be up, trickle down, up, trickle down.
Ratchet up like that.
Yeah. Hey, have you guys seen Real Hex's price increase calculator?
You know what? I tried to find that. I looked at he had a couple of calculators out. I think I pulled the wrong one up though.
Check this one out. It's pretty cool.
Throw it up there.
It's in the private chat.
I'll pull it up. Hold on a second. Let's see.
Or I could pull it up too if you want. One sec.
Come on, you bastard. Okay,
Great.
Here we go. I got it.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah.
So 20,000 Ether is $4,600,000. Right? We'll wait till you get it.
Wait a second. Kabang. Is that it?
There it is. So
Okay.
scroll down. That box where it says Ethereum liquidity inflow is the number. It's the fourth box down.
That one there.
So somebody puts in 200,000 Ethereum, which is $4.6 million. Hex price goes up to, scroll down, 32 cents, which is,
Wait, say that again. Say that again.
No, puts in $4.6 million worth of Ethereum.
That isn't fucking anything.
Was that 20,000, right? 20,000?
Yeah,
I want to make sure I have that right. Yeah.
I went Scooby-Doo right there. I was
Where did I miss it?
Sorry. 20,000 would put us at a penny. 4.6 million would put us at a penny.
That's 200,000.
200,000, which would be 40 million, or 46 million, would put us at.
My question is, do any of the haters want to bet that we're not going to make a penny?
I wouldn't take that.
$4 million bucks, and we're at 1 penny. I don't know. I like this thing here. It's also assuming the liquidity stays constant. But yeah.
Damn.
That's cool.
What was day one? Wasn't that like 2 million in one day?
Something like that. I mean, yeah, that was all of the.
It was 20,000 ETH on the first day, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that was 20,000.
Yeah,
you know, ETH from people.
In one day.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a lot of pent up energy though on day one.
So, all right, so let's fuck with this thing for a second here.
Okay. Let's just say someone won the lotto. Let's just say someone won the lotto, and they won 100 million.
Okay. How much is that in ETH? Let's see. $100 million.
Here we go. So, okay. So what did you want to do now? I wanted to find that liquidity. How many ETH? So if we put
that $100 million Litecoin would be 429,000 Ethereum.
Okay, which would give us a price of
429,000.
Yeah, which would give us a price of HEX at $1.30.
There we go.
$1.
See, I'm not trying to do the math right now.
$1.34.
I'm just gonna let those stakes set.
Damn. Damn.
Wow.
Man. Damn.
So let's go real conservative here. Let's see what a conservative. Hold on a second here.
I think to match the amount of ETH that was put in on one day is pretty damn conservative. You know?
Yeah. So 20,000.
20,000 is pretty damn conservative.
Yeah. What would that do?
So let's do that. Where are we at here? Oh, I'm sorry. I moved my thing. There it is.
Because literally we get about 9,000 a day in the AA. But on Uniswap itself, if it were to get that price would pump.
Liquidity flow. There we go. You said 20,000 ETH? Right?
Yep.
All right. Let's look at what our price is there. Price per hex is
1 penny.
1 penny.
1 penny.
1.1 penny.
That's
3x from here.
Yeah. I mean, it's
so every 10,000 is $100.
Yeah. Just got to have a whale. If a whale saw this too, they could pump the price themselves. Like they could realize.
The whales.
So,
there she blows.
Yeah.
Oh, they totally could. And they probably will. Because what kind of interest are they making in the bank? What kind of interest can you make in HEX? You can set it up as a daily, a monthly payout. And yeah, I mean, you'd be set. What kind of interest are they making in the bank?
Definitely.
What kind of interest can you make in
it?
Funding Jim as a daily monthly payout.
Your audio's feeding back there, Jim.
What kind of interest are they making in the bank? Funding Jim as a daily monthly payout.
Let's see.
You're lagging or his audio's back or something.
You good?
I think I'm better now. I was listening in the background.
There you go. That's it. What's up, dude?
Yeah, all this speculative stickiness is going on. I'm paying attention.
That's gross, man. Why are you talking? Why are you sitting there in the dark talking about speculative stickiness?
Is, being slung around. So I
don't see their hand.
Yeah, where is it?
Well, yeah, my other hand must be damaged.
I see some tissues and lotion in the back there.
Yeah. So you see me on pillows pretty often because I got a damaged shoulder, and they're considering to do something about it. But talk about that different time.
Okay.
Getting old.
But yeah, so this is exciting stuff. I saw that calculator pop up the way that Coffee had said, and of course I think that was either not thrown together, but the math was just made into an easier calculator based on what Good Hexture had postulated in his Steemit articles. So yeah, it's very interesting about the invariant, and the little it's really kind of like when the kid is swinging away from you on the swing, it just takes a tiny bit of energy to make it go a lot farther. It's a tiny bit.
Right.
Yeah. So Good Texture said, I'm going to pull this up because I don't want to jack us on this calculator. I don't think this 20K ETH to 1 cent calculation is correct, is what he's saying. And I've sat and done the math with him too before, and this calculator, or our boy, his calculator's off. So
when his calculation came out, I thought, I may be wrong, but I thought he was calculating 38,000 to get to a penny. 38,000 ETH.
Well, 38,000, yeah, 38,000 in this is saying that we're at 2 cents.
Yeah. Well, it's again, from what I heard, and I'm not a mathematician, and I haven't looked at it recently, but I keep hearing this phrase quadratic. I keep hearing this four.
What does that mean? Is that just compounded? Is quadratic being compounded?
Yeah, it's the square of a number. It's from what I may be wrong.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Good Texture told me about the whole invariant thing, which is really cool. It's basically like you multiply the Ethereum side times the Hex side, and that's a constant number that doesn't change. So if you put new Ethereum in there, you have to recalculate it based on the new number.
So what are you saying, that they always will stay together? I don't understand that, because they're gonna cross every now and then, aren't they? The prices.
Yeah. So the invariant doesn't change, I guess, which is obviously what it sounds like. I'm looking at Good Texture's article right now. So invariant equals ETH pool times Hex pool. Then if you add to the pool, you have a new ETH pool variable, and then you can divide the invariant by the new ETH pool number, which gives you the new Hex pool after. So it'll tell you the new amount of Hex and the new amount of ETH. And then you calculate the price based on that.
Yeah. I think a whale should just try to throw 20K and just find out what happens.
So it's interesting. I had this conversation offline, many times in my life, and it is about leverage. And of course, a lot of people like leverage because they might think of leverage as in a buy-bit kind of scenario where it takes a little bit and you're doing some kind of options trading, something along those lines. But leverage is really inside of our Western society is the access to credit, is the access to other people's money, or at least other people's ledger entries, that you might call money. I don't really call it that, but it's the reason that most of us have a house, or most of us can get rent at a place. You might sign a lease that says you're going to be there for a year, but you didn't give them a year's worth of money. You're leveraging. You're paying as you go. Same sort of thing with a mortgage, same thing with a car payment, same thing with credit cards and things like that. And all I'm saying is it doesn't really take a lot of actual sound money or hard capital, or you actually putting it into a pot and saying I'm releasing it as collateral or as purchase. Our world is really, really derivative driven. And what that means is even when you see a number like 4 million or 5 million to make it 33 cents of ETH, that's very true. And that's so much like a powder keg possible. But then the challenge becomes your own psychology and your own normalization of what you've seen as a trend over your lifetime or over recently, or what does this mean in crypto versus your home equity? How long does it take home equity to climb? How long does it take your baseball cards collectability to climb, right, over time and trend.
Over time, yeah.
So you're looking at time and trends, but you're also realize that it's very, very, very likely that there will be another whale movement, and it doesn't have to be a whale. It can be just someone that says, "I'm going to commit $200,000," and $200,000 leveraged is $5 million. So when you're saying, "I'm going to put something at risk," and that risk, I'm going to get something else that acts as a lever itself. So if you're saying you need $5 million worth of ETH to move a price to 33 cents and be hyper on top of the news trend inside of crypto, and oh my gosh, this came out of left field, it's only been here 7 months, it really only takes 200 grand to get 5 million to move something to be well over $1 billion market cap. So you really need to look at the leverage on top of leverage type of things that people with capital can do. Anybody with anybody that has a what is this called? This type of investor where you have to be over 200,000.
Accredited.
Yeah, anybody that has accredited status, anybody that has that, basically you have a certain amount of income you make per year that you can prove. You have a certain amount of liquid assets that you're not selling to create liquidity to then put somewhere else. You're simply providing as collateral to get liquidity to put somewhere else. So that's what I'm saying is you can lever on top of lever. And our world really is driven by that at this moment. We all see the pinpricks in the bubble and things like that, but this is an everything bubble and everything is looking for yield. So if someone's going to speculate and they say, hey, I think I can get an ROI, they got to look at that, but you also have to look at the fact, are you staked? Are you interested in compounding? Are you interested in early in-stake, emergency in-stake going to you because you have faith in the potential of a blockchain CD? You have to look at those things for your own decision, because what if tomorrow it did go up to 33 cents? What would you do? I mean, every viewer has to ask that. I'd be like, holy shit, that was crazy. I've got 5-year stakes. So you have to look at the volatility thing, and there's a lot of things that make this resistant. There's a lot of game theory in it to make it resistant. And you got to look at, if someone did throw in $5 million and you don't know where it got sourced or how it got, what their timeline is that they have to return that, maybe they have to return it in 30 days. Maybe they have to return it in 3 years. There's all kinds of ways through credit that you can have access to capital. Right. And there's lots of people that have it. So,
yeah. I mean, the best case scenario is someone probably putting maybe it's like 1% of their portfolio, and they're saying, you know what, I'm gonna leave this parked here for a while to see what happens, and that's probably like the best person you'd want. But you are completely right, because depending on the person, maybe they're borrowing a ton of money just to see if they can make some luck, essentially, by like stirring the pot, basically.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I'm not advising people do this. I know RG3's comments about it, and I don't really advise people take out their home equity, go to Vegas, and roll it on one number. I really don't advise that. There's a ROI, there's a super high leverage to doing it, but there's also significant risk, right? You may say, I'll minimize that risk because I'll just put it on black. I'll put it on red. I'll put it on, upper or lower, 36. I'll put something on green. So you can try to diversify your risk, but it's still, at the end of the day, risk, right? Right. And honestly, when you take a home loan, you have a risk. You have a 30 years of risk. You're having a risk that market is going to trend up or be stable, or maybe if it declines, you have time to exit at a loss. So we have risk all the time on everything that we do. We have risk that we don't wake up tomorrow. So if you put it in perspective through your experience or through your understanding of how the world works financially versus, I need calories today or I'm going to wither, right? Calories, I need shelter today. I need security today, right? So you can live in the moment. And I think that's very important, but everything is speculation beyond that. Everything is. Yeah. And you're just basically you're just playing the probabilities game. So if someone were to take out, pretty easily, I wouldn't say easily, it took me 60 days to get over $1 million cash for a pool of 7 people. And they didn't have a business entity yet. They didn't have anything other than a 720 score. And with that with that knowledge of that pool that wanted to do something real estate related. This has nothing to do with crypto. This is several years ago.
Okay.
And what I did was I spent about 45, maybe 60 days calling every 2 to 3 days. So it wasn't like constantly for 60 days. It was every 2 to 3 days on behalf of each of the members of the pool. I called Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, you know, all these big banks and stuff like that. And I had already set their sole proprietorship entity, which costs almost nothing. It's basically just registration. And because they had a new sole proprietorship entity that was individual to them, they can't transfer. It's a type of entity business that you can't transfer to anybody else. Then they had trended personal credit history of being 700 scores. Nothing phenomenal, nothing terrible, just 700s. Right. And when they had that as a starting point and they had a brand new entity, then when I called the banks on their behalf and negotiated, then what I was able to do was essentially get business credit for their entity, but their entity is brand new. And underwriters, business credit underwriters, you know, for business credit cards and things like that, they don't have any history to go on because the entity is brand new, but they have the owner, which is the trended history of the person that has the FICO. Because they had that history, then everyone that had $5,000 credit card limit on their personal account, or $10,000, or some people have $20,000 or $50,000 credit limits, then effectively I can get about 5 times what their highest credit limit is on their personal side of the fence. And so what that meant was a pool of 7 people plus myself, we got $1 million in cash. And through that $1 million of cash, it took about, like I said, 60 days to do it. And then within about 30 more days, we found a property in Venice that was a 16-unit apartment building that was for sale. A broker found, a real estate agent found it. We liked it as a pool. So we had put our personal credit as leverage to get business credit as capital. Put the capital into an LLC. The LLC had the asset of the cash in a bank account, a business bank account, but the owners were the 8 of us, right? So the 8 of us own the LLC. The LLC owns the collateral, the cash, the capital. So we contributed to it. Then the LLC can buy as an entity property. We bought the property. About 3 of us operated or basically got tenants into the space over the course of the next 3 to 4 months. We had rent rolls. Once we had rent rolls that were reporting to the bank account, the business bank account, and saying, okay, we have 4 months of history of tenants paying X dollars to be in this apartment building. Then we were able to get the LLC, at least, was able to refinance and get all of the $1 million back. And all the $1 million got split back to the people that had put into the ownership and startup of the LLC. And now the asset is fully financed and had net positive cash flow of about 10 grand a month. That made it very attractive to an outside investor. And an outside investor, we solicited, we found it. So basically over the course of 18 to 20 months total, from beginning to end, each of us made around 150 grand at the end of the day, plus whatever, about 2 grand per month per person. So I'm just saying, you don't even have to have $5 million to move an asset like this to be a 33 cents per token asset.
That was a long ass answer to get us to.
I know. I was like story time with funding. Yes,
that's fucking
missed you, buddy. How you doing? How you doing?
We're all very, very damn impressed, though.
But what I'm saying,
I love this guy.
Everybody likes to think of the hard, sound money. I've got to have cash in order to move this asset to be, over $1 billion market cap. Yeah, you actually don't have to have anything. You just need to have strategy.
Well, we watched the last pump. I mean, it was moving quickly to watch the market cap move like it was moving. I mean, we were just overtaking coin after coin after coin, and it wasn't a ton of energy that was being pumped in to get us rolling like that. I mean, it was moving along well.
Yeah. So, what I'm saying is, even those people that might have moved that, they might be absolutely cash positive and not have sold a token. I mean, not really sold anything by now.
Yeah.
Oh, but that was really important, Jim. I mean, people don't understand leverage at all. You know, it's like you don't want to because you're warned against it all your life.
Can I ask a question? Yeah, I was the same way. I was raised to think that debt is bad, right? So it can actually be good, like you said, if you had a strategy. But how did the people initially get the personal credit before you got the business credit? Did they put up their own?
You just got to build it.
Yeah, if they weren't already 700s or higher, then they couldn't be in the pool because it takes time to build up your credit history. So if you basically have had a car ever and paid it off, especially, then you're great.
So all you got to do is have a credit score over 700.
What?
So for that particular program, 700 is great credit. I mean, once you get over 700, then you're available for pretty much all the financial products that are out there. Yeah. You don't get stuck in the below sixes or the high sixes. They have different programs for everybody's credit.
Cool.
So basically, we got about a 15 months at 0% interest, but we had paid off the loan within 6 months.
Yeah, and I see like some programs out there I've seen as high as like 720. They want 720s, but that's usually like the threshold where they want to see like that's like impeccable credit. Once you're over 720, that's like an impeccable credit. Yeah. Credit,
and then also
credit score.
The banks understand real estate, so they can just give you leverage on your money basically. Well, so they know the game, so they're really comfortable on it.
If you think about an asset that can't drive away because it's not a car, you can't go inside of a ledger and disappear to a foreign country because it's not crypto. It's not maybe 20 pounds of something, which might be physical solid gold that's buried in someone's concrete backyard, and now that asset's gone. Real estate is it. So the most lendable thing that a bank will lend against, one, is because it can claim through legal recourse
that it ain't going nowhere.
You're not taking it with you. And two,
literally landlocked.
And two, government supports this because there's no such thing as paid off real estate. Even when you completely paid it off and you burn the mortgage,
taxes, baby.
Stop paying your taxes for about a year and see what happens.
Yeah, see who owns it after that.
Yeah. So you're never out of it. So what I'm saying is, as long as
it's a scam,
then they're going to support the contract.
I'm telling you, real estate is a freaking scam. I mean, you have to live in a house, and more than likely, if you get a house, you're going to pay better on a mortgage rate than you are for rent, if you get a good mortgage rate and all that shit. Yeah. Real estate's a fucking scam as far as I'm concerned.
They're rolling that scam out in Mexico right now.
Yeah, we're not going into Waterworld anytime soon though.
No. So let me welcome our cutthroats that just dropped in on the stream. Crypto Black Sheep, what's up, brother?
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Good, man. Doing? It's always good to have your exciting, freaking colorful.
I know, right?
And then our new stud of the week, Ryan. What's up, buddy? You guys in your tank tops, man. You guys are just whoo. Oh, man, it's getting hot in here. What's up with this shit with you guys in your tank tops, man?
He's getting ready for a South America life.
Yeah. I swear to God, dude, I've been Googling properties in Puerto Rico all day long.
Isn't it awesome? I love doing it.
Dude, so when should we try to get our properties in Puerto Rico?
I think we got to get
you're moving in next door to me, Ryan.
Dude, I'm down.
Oh, she's got a crush.
The surfer side is the Jimmy Buffett side. It's nice over there.
Yeah. Jimmy Buffett
doesn't mamacitas.
Black Sheep, bro, how freaking stoned are you right now?
Who? I'm fucking lit, dude. I just gotta say.
Who's stoned right now?
Black Sheep, his eyes are like almost shutting right now. They're like,
oh man.
Yes, yeah. I'm like, dude, I look at myself and I'm like, damn, I am lit.
Coffee just got a reminder.
Taking a couple hits.
He's over there taking a couple of hits right now. He turned his video camera off.
There you go. Couple vapes.
Oh my god, dude.
So Ryan, you've been looking at or was that coffee that he said he was looking at properties? It was coffee, huh?
I think he's on Zillow, but yeah, my plan, if HEX really does appreciate a lot, in the future, I would, really consider moving to Puerto Rico.
What price point gets you to Puerto Rico?
I mean, I don't know. It depends, like how high Hex gets, and then like
penny, 2 pennies, 5 cents.
So if I mean, for tax purposes, I guess it would be if you sell your Hex, right, and then go into cash, that's like a taxable event, correct? Or no?
Oh yeah.
So I think,
and I don't know how they would track it, but as soon as you move it to a stable, I think that's a taxable event. Once you move it to USDC or USD Tether, once you move it into a stable coin, I think it's a taxable event. I don't know how they would tell, but I think maybe and this is just me thinking out loud, and that doesn't mean shit. But
once
I mean,
you move it into money laundering, it's a taxable event.
Once you start to money launder, it's a taxable event.
But I thought that was the entire point of the stable coins originally, was for it to be not a taxable event and in a stable coin. But who knows? I don't know the laws on it.
Well, maybe it's once you move it. Maybe it's once you transfer out of the stable coin into your bank account. It's the taxable event, So
that's what I always thought it was.
It depends on your jurisdiction. You almost have to decide where do you want to live and how much of the year do you want to live anywhere. But there's like a million ways to structure things to make it very efficient.
Now I got a question for you, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
How? So I know that there's in the wording on 22, which is 22 is actually the not the Business Act, but that's the Investors Act, correct?
Yeah, I mean they changed it now. We've been saying 22 and 20 for a long time, but now it's Act 60, or they changed the name.
Oh, they did.
They consolidated into a new version. So every year things change. Every 6 months maybe. So you're locked into whatever your grandfathered in. If you came in 17 or 16 or 18 or 19, it may be a different program, but they're all basically similar to each other.
But I was reading the wording, and it says, like what you have to do. So 183 days here, blah, 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 and you have to be accepted into the program. So there's like an acceptance into the program. If you're
willing to pay $5,000, then they're going to accept you.
That's it.
Well, there's the lawyer might be what the lawyer charges. And basically, if you don't want to speak Spanish and double check all of your contract work, then they'll make that easier for you. And it depends on who you want to go to. If they think you're worth millions and millions and millions of dollars, then you're probably going to look at the contract with more scrutiny. If you're reasonable and you're going to run any kind of e-commerce in addition to just your capital gains consideration, then you might want to have some addendums. So it depends. But basically, the contract with the government is an upfront fee
down 5%
of about $5,000,
really,
and then an annual amount of about $10,000. I think on the new programs.
So
did I post this fucking chart?
Are there
people? It's gonna dump?
Bitcoin's dumping.
Bitcoin's dumping.
Yeah.
Let's see. let me.
How else they're going to buy Hex unless they sell the Bitcoin?
True.
And it has to dump.
Yeah, right.
But actually, I think I saw the stock, like S&P 500 is dumping, and I guess there seems to be some correlation.
Oh shit! ETH's dumping too.
Correlation in crypto.
ETH's dropping right now too.
How is that possible?
I don't know, but that's what happened. That's what happened in March. Like when all this stuff dumped, like crypto just dumped.
Corona. They said today that Corona mutated, and now we're all going to be Walking Dead. So.
Oh shit!
Hold on a second.
Okay. Who's Rick?
You don't even know it, but you're already a zombie.
Oh man.
I've known it for a while.
So let's see. Share screen. Let's put this up here so we can see this live.
Is it a rocket red candle or what?
Real time. Look at that! Look at that wick! Look at that wick, baby!
It's a big wick.
Oh man. This might be attributed to the.
What is this? Is that Bitcoin?
Yeah, that's Bitcoin.
One of the one coin Ponzi.
Oh my god!
The one token Ponzi. They moved a lot of their Bitcoin and Ethereum funds
to EOS
the other day. To EOS, yeah. So who knows?
They're going to dump EOS pretty soon.
Okay.
I heard about that.
Look at EOS chart. They've come down from their $4 million ICO or $4 billion ICO.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a drink.
Hey, funding Jim, got a question for you.
Yeah.
Who did you end up selling the LLC to? Like, where did you find a buyer for that?
Property management company that had long-term leases with Snapchat and Google.
Okay.
They already had clients. They were just looking for space.
So they just kind of absorbed you guys as part of a larger thing?
They were looking at property expansion in the area. They already owned like 3 other apartments in the area. And this was like 2 years ago when this is called Silicon Beach. That area is called Silicon Beach because there's all these different compounds that are, Venice Beach used to be Muscle Beach, and it used to be Schwarzenegger and all this stuff like that. But now it's not. Now it's more Silicon people.
Shout out to Charles Glass. I'm going to train with that guy soon.
Charles Glass.
Yeah. Charles Glass is the man, dude. If you know bodybuilding, that guy has trained everybody, man. Almost all the Olympians have trained with him.
What do you? What's your stack for bodybuilding?
What stack are you talking about?
Yeah, it depends on what stack you're talking about. That's what I was going to say.
Maybe not on the stream. Never mind.
D-ball. Let's not talk about our gear. We're all crypto guys, so everybody's got gear, right?
Creatine and a multivitamin.
Creatine.
I'm a big fan of creatine.
Yeah. I know Ryan's got a stack going. We should be talking to Ryan about his stack.
No, I've just been doing coffee, water, and just food.
Food. What the hell is that?
Just like trying to keep
doing vodka
clean,
and tequila.
Clean. Vodka and tequila.
And fucking smoking weed. Oh shit!
Smoking weed and RG3 right now are on low carb right now.
Oh yeah, we're both low carb. I just dropped 9 pounds.
Are you guys doing that carnivore diet?
No, it doesn't really work for me. It's too expensive as well.
I can't eat like good Tim was talking to me about it.
Only
you got to eat so much
foods. What is it?
It's like meat only.
Just meat and no carbs. I think.
And it's not processed. Like you can't go with bologna and call that carnivore.
Some people are.
That's why it's so expensive. If you want to get good quality meat, you got to buy like grass fed straight from the farm, and it ends up costing a lot. So it wasn't really. I didn't really like it.
We lost good texture as a neighbor in Puerto Rico, guys. He said not enough guns in Puerto Rico to fight the Walking Dead.
Hey, it's USA. You got gun rights there too. You just got to get your licenses and stuff. If you want.
So if you fly to Puerto Rico and if you have guns in the U.S., can you like legally bring your weapons with you? I wonder.
Yeah, anywhere that you normally would be able to transport guns anyway, you're just putting them in cargo. You have them in a lockbox, put them in cargo.
So, do they have different carry laws out there in Puerto Rico, or
it's the same kind of process? I mean, everything's bilingual, so all the stuff you have to fill out as far as paperwork has to be both. It might be because you're a single language speaking, you might have to sign an additional notary statement saying that you understand what you're getting yourself into.
I thought you could only have guns if you were manufacturing cocaine down there. So.
It's not really
the video that gets us pulled.
It's a destination for cocaine. It's not really a production place.
That's Colombia. It all goes down.
Okay. Puerto Rico is pretty
Colombia.
Most of the population is pretty poor.
No, that's just a place for them to rest. Is Puerto Rico? They don't.
Right.
I doubt it. I think they go around Puerto Rico because it's a U.S. territory. You don't want to mess around down there.
You're doing your show tomorrow?
Jamaica and Cuba and to get to Florida before they'll really hit Puerto Rico. It's out of the way, out of the path.
Now, one of my other questions for you, Jim, was the 183 days. How do they track that? I mean, how do they do? I mean, if you rent a place, I mean, you rent it, you pay it, but I mean, how do they track you being there?
Your utility bill, your lease, those are things that basically you can just pay for and be somewhere else. And of course, they don't want that. So your credit card bills, your cell phone, where does the text message come from? And basically, they're not following you like, secret spy during the time. They're following you when they say, hey, you're living a lifestyle that's beyond really what you make and what you're claiming. And let's audit you. And if you're going to be profiled being, because you have to be, I think you have to be honest and say what assets you start out with as a basis. So if you have stocks, dividends, you're trading commodities and, crypto, then you declare that during your Act 20 or 22, now they call it 60, but during your application, you're saying, why are you here? Why are you moving to Puerto Rico, Mr. Woods? Why are you here? You know, and they'll find out because you'll tell them, and then you have your basis, and from your basis, you can transparently show those gains because you don't get taxed on them.
So you have to declare everything you own when you get there.
It's better. I mean, yeah. Why are you there otherwise?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty obvious, I guess. Yeah.
All right, guys. I'm gonna have to sign off here.
Equipment.
I'm in my grandma's basement. She said it's getting too late here. So
Right. I heard you say yeah.
Yeah. So all right, guys. I'm gonna sign off here. So
see you, Ryan.
Later.
All right, Ryan.
All right. See you
Later,
guys.
Spexy.
Later.
Later, bro.
And you want to show, actually, if you're going to use
Yoga Lopez.
if you're going to use crypto to get other assets that produce incomes, like apartment buildings, like productive land that creates crops and things that maybe people are considering as we go through an economic slump, you want to be transparent. You want to say, okay, I have this asset. Now this asset's very valuable, and I don't want to sell this asset. I want to loan against this asset. Do you think that Elon Musk sells his stock, or do you think
Absolutely
he takes
not.
loans against his stock?
Yeah, it takes loans against it.
He only takes
Yeah.
debt against his stock, because if he sells his stock, he kills the price of the stock. So so he wants to have an asset pool that's collateral, but he doesn't want to sell it for taxation reasons and for sinking faith in his company. What do you think HEX OA is doing? Whoever HEX OA is, do you think it's more likely that HEX OA sells into the market and causes fear, uncertainty, and doubt? Or do you think it's more likely that they never touch and never sell a single token, but they can collateralize it and they can use it as
Damn
leverage?
straight. Damn straight. Big
Shout
big
out
leverage.
Celsius.
Double the amount, double the value of it.
You know, Steve Jobs, I don't think sold stock. I mean, he got diluted to a certain point and then he didn't sell ever again. Jeff Bezos, even when Amazon went down, I think the only two holders of original Amazon stock, you know who they are?
His parents?
Jeff, maybe his wife too, but Jeff originally had never has sold. I mean, like all of it or whatever. And his mom, Jeff Bezos, and his mom. Those are kind of the original Amazon holders who are still holding.
Wow.
Tesla's down 11%.
Why would you sell what you can take a loan against?
That's a great argument against any hater of Richard Hart's going to dump on your head one day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hodling is awesome, dude. If you got those hands, if you got these hands.
Yeah. I mean, and again, the more stable a price becomes, the more time that anything exists, the more recency bias people think, oh, it's always going to exist. Oh, it's only been here 6 months. It'll be gone. Oh, it's only been here 10 years. What's that crypto called? It's called Bitcoin. Oh, it'll be gone.
Yep.
So, you know, this government of 1776, oh, by 1778, it'll be gone. I mean, come on. I mean, it's recency bias that drives a lot of these things that we collateralize and put faith into.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to knock Mormons, but Mormons have only been 150 years or whatever it is since the Pilgrims and going to Utah and having a new religion. A lot of people don't trust Scientology, but they trust Mormonism. A lot of people don't trust Christianity, but it's only got 2,000 years of history compared to other religions that maybe 4,000 or 5,000 years old, like Hinduism and such, right? So recency bias means a lot as far as what people put their faith into, whether it's asset or culture or
You've also got the survivorship bias on the counterpoint of that, right? Just because something's been around doesn't imply that it's going to continue to be around for that much longer.
Yeah.
So
well, again, it's you know, there's two sides of that thing, and I've heard people talk about, oh, when 2017 cryptos were all saying that they were going to be the next Ethereum killer, that they're going to be the next ICO that replaces Ethereum, or Ethereum was going to replace Bitcoin. But you know, Ethereum never really had that frame. It always said it was a smart contract. It always said it was that was its asset, not that it was going to be peer-to-peer cash. So their narrative has never been direct competition with Bitcoin. But in 2017, when we saw these ICOs, I don't know how many of them were basically saying they were Ethereum killers. They're going to be Ethereum killers. But the first mover adoption and the first mover advantage really doesn't get taken into account by the average outside speculator that's only heard of the first version the same time that they hear about the second version, you know?
Right.
So if you just learned about Ethereum in mid 2017, then everything that says, oh, we're an Ethereum killer, and you say, oh, how long has that been around? Oh, 4 years. Oh, well, I just heard about it last week. So yeah, something else can replace it. It's kind of our psychology gets fucked up with that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So Hex Monkey was asking about, you know, taking a loan up against your. I don't think you'll have the ability to take a loan against your Hex at this point, or take a loan against your stakes. If anything, it would more than likely have to be liquid. I'm sure that'll be the first step. It might be against some other crypto asset that you can put that liquid Hex into, that you might be able to do that with. I don't know. I mean, I don't think, obviously there's not the ability for somebody to do that now with Hex.
There is that ability. I hear what you're saying, but there is that ability. There's 5 people right here. I mean, all it really takes is funding.
It can be built. It can be built.
I'll lend out against Hex at a 10%. If you give me 10 times the Hex of its street value, its spot value right now, then I'll lend
LTV.
Okay, well, maybe a different pool says I'll do 20%, and a different pool says 35. It depends on how much KYC, AML, you know, what's your business trend? What are you going to do with this capital once we give it to you? You know, it depends on how confessional you want to be about validating what you're going to do with that capital. Now, I see that there are great companies that are trying to do things with crypto, and they have a lot of momentum and things like that. And we've heard about different ones like Salt or ETH lending and so forth as proposals. But basically, you're completely anonymous. You're only giving up an asset that's extremely volatile. You know, Ethereum went up to $1,500 and now it's like 2 something. So you have to say to yourself, what is the real margin call? If I collateralize at 50% or maybe 25%, it'll never go down that low. Well, Ethereum did.
Bitcoin did.
Bitcoin did. So so look at what you're calling options trading and speculative and leverage, and look at what you're saying. This is collateral, and I'm going to take cash against it. And I've got to return that cash within 3 days, or else I lose my stake. That sounds dangerous. So I'm not pitching that to people that would do a call. So I personally believe better in real estate because a lot more entities believe in real estate, escrow companies, individual speculators, cash flow. There's all kinds of reasons to look at real estate, but you can do the same thing with other assets. You can take a loan against your classic car. You can take a loan against your baseball cards. You can take a loan against your word.
Yeah, you just have to have somebody willing to do that. That's what I'm saying. So is really that there isn't an entity right at this moment. Like you said, there's 5 of us here. We can set that up. But what I was saying is it doesn't exist at this moment. It can be done, but it doesn't exist yet. Somebody would have to actually take that risk and actually go build it and make it happen. Put the contract together anyway, you know. So yeah, it can be done, but somebody has to take the risk and do it.
Yeah.
Would you give up your Bitcoin for a loan? A lot of people normalize that Bitcoin has value in this room.
I have.
Yeah. So what ratio would you feel comfortable at?
I just to test it out. I did like $4,000 of Bitcoin at a 25% LTV.
$1,000. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just got $1,000 to try it out just because I wanted to be in the system, just in case later on in the bull market I wanted to take out a loan.
Yeah.
And that's what
during
I did.
During the rise, I think a lot of people tried that with Salt or with ETH lend, and it kind of adds on itself again, because if you're already speculating and you're going to take capital out from putting this collateral, it's just like a lot of different tokens. You know, you basically are getting paid out, and with that payout, you're buying into it more, so that your yield is more, and it feeds on itself. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, because it's really what California real estate is. I mean, my house, his house down in Southern California, those were all $30,000 houses. And it wasn't that the house became more valuable. It's that it got diluted through additional speculation, additional normalization of values, you know?
At least even in the area where I live, like, 90s, the houses were like 180. Today, they're like damn near $700K a piece. you know, $1 million depending on the home. So it's
But you know how much they
It's
would
been
sell
crazy.
for if the buyer had to provide all cash?
Oh, dude, the houses would be worth like 50K, 80K tops.
So
Yeah,
really,
50,
the
80K,
reason that it has the value perception, the reason that the interest rates are low is not so that you can buy. It's nothing to do with you being able to buy, the interest rates being low. It's so that the seller can sell.
Mm-hmm.
The seller can sell because you qualify. You have leverage. So I can get my exit price on my property because you have the ability to lever, right? So it has nothing to do, I mean, even when they say about the, you know, keep the economy up and keep real estate up in 2007 and 8, it had almost nothing to do with the individual. It had to do with the seller.
Right.
Yeah. Woo! I think it's high as fuck over there.
I know, man. He's
dude,
tripping out.
I'm not doing any
I'm
of that.
fucking lit, dude. I'm lit.
This is.
I'm not gonna do either of those two things, Black.
Well, slap my ass and call me Black Shrimp. Black Shrimp.
Hey, funny, Jim, are you still doing your show on Thursdays?
Oh shit.
Well,
Yeah, he does a show on Thursdays. You're doing it, right, Jim?
Yeah, I do on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday.
Okay.
We had a really good one with Crypto Coffee yesterday. He's a trooper.
Dude, I gotta get on there, man. Dude, it's just sorry. I just been my schedule's been so busy a little bit this past 2 weeks.
Yeah, our the one we did yesterday was pretty targeted. It was pretty topics specific and covered some different. So the reason I wanted to come on the stream is I haven't released it yet, but it is about cross pollination, cross support. And I noticed, like even earlier today, I was like, I'm going to go on Fiverr and we'll get somebody to help me make some graphic thing or whatever. And I was like starting to try to do those things that a lot of people do, which is trying to source someone that can create content. There's a pool of people. There's a lot of people, and you feel like, well, I don't want to like bother this person. I know they make great content. Let me tip them Hex. Let me give them some funds. And I was like, why don't we have a Hex Fiverr? Why don't we have something that's specifically, it's a rate sheet. It's kind of an open bid. There could be all kinds of things that are right now, the liquidity that's available inside of Hex decks and trading and things like that. Just buy it so that you can send it easily and you can pay for things like that. When I had people that were working on different projects in 2016 and 2016, 15, that they were in Ukraine, and they're some of the best media talent, people that produce these kinds of things. They are actually in Ukraine, but Russia invaded part of Ukraine, and because of that, their banking system got locked off. So I couldn't pay them anymore. I was like, so I had to figure out Bitcoin just to give them some money across borders. And we could do the same thing with Hex.
Yeah, Hex Fiverr would be awesome, man. I mean, on the side you're doing projects for Hex and staking it. I mean, that's a great idea. That would be a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, even when we were going through yesterday, I was talking about the crypto memes, the ones that are inside of all the different channels of Hex. I was like, people produce these things. They make amazing content. They get the salute or the admiration of people. They're like, wow, that's really funny. It made me laugh. But they really don't get anything other than that praise. And if we set up something that was just, hey, if you put it in this portfolio and you put, we know who it is that created this original work, I'd sponsor that. Be like, okay, I'll buy that. I need some opening material for my channel or, and stuff. And I think
web development, all kinds of stuff, graphics artists, and all kinds of stuff.
Well, memes are viral. You want to get the message out so that the whole pool of Hex adoption happens. You want to make that pie bigger. There's no better way than to sponsor, realistically sponsor for the value of their time and your desire for whatever material you're wanting for your channel or Dlive or YouTube or anything, but to sponsor it honestly and sponsor it through Hex, and then they're compelled basically to exchange that however they're going to exchange it into other values. But it also creates something that's viral, can be shared, will be shared. It'll get on the top of cryptocurrency, Reddit and stuff like that, and you'll bring adoption. You might take hate, you might take heat, but you'll bring adoption. So I think it's very important we do stuff like that.
Hey, shout out to Blind Corner homeboy. He's got a V twin too, so he's one of those.
Super stick.
Nice.
Yeah, Huntington Beach. That's my old stomping grounds. My where I got when I got out of the Marine Corps. I moved there. 17th and Olive Street, right there on the in Huntington Beach. I know Blind Corner knows where that's at. But anyway, that's Huntington is quite an interesting place right now. That's for sure.
I'm just getting alerts like crazy on my phone every 5 minutes. Another coin's down 10-15%.
Oh, so are we having a crypto dump right now? Is that what's going on?
I think we are.
Good.
We just 0x went down 11%.
Buy
right
time.
now.
I'm glad it dumped before payday and not after. Shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
Let me see. What's Bitcoin doing?
Yeah.
I'm all in. You guys don't even know. Like I'm getting a $1,900 paycheck yesterday.
Bitcoin's about to drop under $9,000 right now.
Hex is pretty stable right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a $1,900 paycheck tomorrow, and it's all going to fucking Hex.
There you go.
Yuck.
Oh, crazy
yeah.
bastard.
Yeah, we just dipped below 0.003 on Hex, but barely.
Look at that.
We're at 0.00298.
Keep coming down, baby.
This would be the time when Hex just rips off. Like, wow, the market dumped. Hex launched.
What are those 15-minute candles? Is that 15 minutes?
Yeah, those are 15-minute leaking.
Well, it still dumped $200 in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But again, volatility is what attracts people to this market or this asset class, because all of these whips are what traders make money off of. I mean, everybody that moves the market makes money. Yeah.
Right.
If it was completely stable and you didn't change very often, you said, okay, I'm going to get 0.02% on my money. Buy a house in Kansas. I mean, that's pretty much the stable market.
Yeah.
Do you know what I was thinking about earlier? That like Rich sometimes watches our stream secretly and says like, "Wow, they've entered the Stone Age. They're starting to use tools now."
Like they're getting smarter.
That's funny.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's such a nice little dopamine hit. You like comments on your video. Like fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, how do we monetize our what we got going on here, Gary? Because I've been doing this all for free right now. My only payment has been in Hex.
Yeah.
For myself.
Yes.
I pay myself.
So it depends. What do you want to do? I mean, I have to think. What do you want to do after crypto? Everybody wants to live like the DJ Khaled life and just wear jewels and shit.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, there's ways to do that conventionally too. So it depends on what you want. I think of this as just another leverage tool to get other asset producing, income producing asset stuff. Yeah, and I don't like derivatives. I don't like stocks. I don't like bonds. I don't like anything along those lines. And I still value, as long as it's cash flowing, more than equity. So even when I say real estate, cash flow is everything to me. That's what matters.
Yes. Mailbox money. Always.
We were talking the other day, Good Texture and I, about freaking Wagyu farming out in Puerto Rico. That would be fun.
Yeah, I was looking at some land out there. It's not too bad. Granted, I don't know what the fuck land should cost, but it looked about, you can get quite a bit of acreage on the western part of Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico, I just had a seminar like 2 days or 3 days ago, and it was very specific to Puerto Rico's positioning since COVID began. And since COVID, they're probably the best I wouldn't even say territory, but best spot in the United States as far as production of the things that are going to dump money into governments are going to dump money and private sector into pharmaceutical production, like all the stuff that was caught us off guard, really, about how much is sourced first from China, then goes to India, then becomes a pharmaceutical that we consume. So a lot of your diabetes medicine and things like that, you wouldn't even think is related to COVID. Most of it used to be produced, for the United States at least, in Puerto Rico, a majority of it. And over the past 10, 15 years, taxation changed the interest in companies to remain there as pharmaceutical production. Other things that you look at as far as like security risk, quote unquote, of like call centers of your credit cards, almost all of your credit cards, the call centers are in India, most of them. They're actually rerouting a lot of them to make it look like it comes from Kansas City or somewhere that's U.S. centric. But most of the time, when you answer the phone, you already probably pick up a dialect or whatever, and they have a. I'm not saying anything about xenophobia. I'm just saying a lot of the business moved off to where the labor is cheaper. But now we see that there's data risks, security risks, and there is a bit of a xenophobia about buying products or services from outside of the United States at this moment. So places like Puerto Rico that right now, you could look at the agriculture side and you say, I want to produce actual coffee. There's coffee plantations I know that are being started right now. They're going to do really well in Puerto Rico. There's all kinds of ag. There's tons of ag that's there. And then there's political wind to support this stepchild, that the U.S. has treated kind of poorly as a territory. So there's a lot of political wind towards movement. The challenge about Puerto Rico is culturally, socially, I don't want to say this I don't know if anybody that's Puerto Rican, but culturally, Puerto Rico's politics is extremely socialist, extremely. So if you're going to go to Puerto Rico and you're going to flaunt wealth, you're making yourself a target, honestly.
Right.
You have to be a compound and only live.
Well, I would think anybody with that kind of wealth would want to flaunt it. I mean, you should probably live.
There's a push because of the social story, the narrative that the socialist story, basically, that wealth you must have taken from others in order to have wealth, versus the net positive of creating wealth. People have a hard time understanding that you can create wealth from nothing because of innovation or invention. But a socialist and a communist kind of narrative says to the Russian before the fall of the USSR, says, you are poor because other people are taking from you. But how many Russian products have you bought? You haven't bought any, right? Even that, I think, is probably distilled elsewhere if you're consuming it here. But anyways, what I'm saying is, how many products have you bought from Japan?
A lot.
Quite a few, probably.
Yeah.
Russia has the most land, arable land to create agriculture. It has the most resources in the ground as far as oil, mineral, heavy metals, radioactive materials, and things like that too. Has a pretty big labor pool, but you almost don't buy anything from it. Japan, if you look at it as a nation, it has almost no land, almost no agriculture other than what it can do to support its own people, almost no exports other than technology. And it does that because necessity.
Right.
Necessity drives innovation. When you're frustrated and you can't export what you've got in the ground, then you have to innovate.
I'm gonna change you to Google Jim. Change your name to Google Jim.
Whatever.
I think.
Talk about pot. Let's talk about marijuana some more. There's a thriving marijuana business in Puerto Rico.
Jim, you should look into some guy called Peter Zion. I think you'll get a real kick out of his take on where things are going. Peter Zion.
Peter Zion. Okay.
Yeah, he's he's a really good demographer, and I always been into demography and stuff, and kind of looking at what like the first time I ever heard about demography was when you see the one child policy with China. I heard that pretty early on, and then I just got infatuated looking into the numbers and stuff. Russia has horrible demographics. Like pretty much their army, they have 5 years to do something before they literally their army is going to fall apart because most of their top brass pretty much has to retire.
Yeah.
And same thing with Japan. You already know Japan. Japan's demography is terrible, but they're trying to beat it through automation or something. So
they're doing a lot more robots and stuff. Like they have in Japan, they have nursing homes that basically have companions that are robots.
Wow. Yeah. But Japan does have the second largest navy even right now. I think it's super carrier. I think it has the only super carrier outside of the United States.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought that they were still restricted from World War II about what they can buy.
Oh no. They're starting to rearm now. They've been itching to fuck China up for a minute now. They're starting to get a little worried now. Yeah, I've been
funny
catching
how these things. If you look at history and you look at how things swing, You know, like all of our allies that now are our enemies, all of our enemies that, you know, used to be now are our allies. This reversal, it's crazy. I think
it happened quickly too.
So
I think the United States is going to start selling them weapons pretty soon and supplying them with oil. I don't know. I got some. I think some little stuff's gonna be brewing over there in Asia pretty soon. I think Japan's gonna be mopping the floor.
All that stuff's going to the wayside.
Well, you guys gotta. If you haven't already seen it, it's a great movie. You should watch it regardless. But you should see Lords of War. It's an excellent movie. You may have seen it RG3, but it's probably an arms dealer, and it's pretty good.
Oh, the Lord, with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage.
Yes, that's a great movie. It's a great movie.
But things are different now. Drones have changed all of that shit. Wars are bots now. It's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, there's actually, I think there's again, whether you can regulate through authority, you know, so the Geneva Convention, you already know, RG3 does, but a lot of people may not know, but the Geneva Convention, before the Geneva Convention, the best target on a battlefield was to shoot the medic or to shoot the chaplain, on a battlefield, because you're more likely to come out as a armed force to rescue that person or that asset, I guess. And then they passed the rules of war basically and said, don't do that. You know, they're a non-combatant, don't do that. So they have these same kind of rules now that they're trying to formulate between nations and say, don't use drones. Don't fly a drone into someone's house and shoot them with the drone. They're trying to say these things, but it comes down to it. Technology still always wins. You know?
Yeah. Now it's going to be, they're going to have drones that are going to be, flying over, sending down a mini drone that's going to take people out based upon their facial recognition.
Yeah.
That's why
those guys are all gone.
I mean, we're gonna have.
It's already there. They already got the technology,
steamrolled, man. Because you're gonna have Sony drones and you're gonna have Xbox drones.
The operator can be the 16-year-old kid that's been playing Fortnite for 3 years.
Exactly, and there's actually, if you look into it, there's something called drone racing, which they're all sponsored by Microsoft and stuff. They're using Microsoft controllers to fly these drones, and they're drone racing inside of Detroit warehouses. And
they go through these laser, it's all lit up, LED lights everywhere.
Oh, what is that?
They took F-16s and put a Microsoft system in them, and they were able to operate them with an Xbox controller from the ground. And they had trained pilots with an Xbox controller controlling, I mean, we're going full video game, bro. I mean, if a war breaks out, man, these number one, FPS guys, these Counter-Strike guys, all these are going to be valuable assets to the U.S. Army.
Yep.
Right on.
Damn, that's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
It's here. Damn. It's here. 21st century is here.
Hell yeah, man. Shit.
I can't remember which episode. I was trying to look it up, but there's an episode of Black Mirror. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it.
Oh, love that show. It's the best show. It's such a good show.
And there was boot camp in Decentraland and shit, huh?
one of them that the robot thought that it was human, but it wasn't, and it was VR. I don't know. It was fucked up with your mind, but it was you think that you're playing a game, but you weren't really playing a game. You were really like the robot killing off people or some shit. I don't know.
Have you seen the Black Mirror episode where it's like I forgot the name of it, but it's basically it leads this black dude and this one girl, and basically they're in basically a slave work camp where they have to ride bicycles or do cardio to pay for credits to.
Oh to yeah. I think I remember that one.
And remember how he ends up getting out is he pretty much is going to kill himself, and then he got tons of views and he got famous, and then he does that for a living now. And it's so trippy if you think about it. Like the only way out of the rat race for a normal person is to get famous, to make and get views. It's so crazy. Like,
why do you think I have this show?
Why do you think I'm on every day?
So there's a lot of anthropological psychology that they theorize about why we do anything. And it comes down to our Maslow's needs and things like that about even the definition of being alive. I think it has 3 primary instructions or qualifications. One is eat, consume something, right? You have to consume something if you're a plankton or if you're human or if you're you're on an underwater volcano and you're changing chemicals, whatever. You're consuming something.
Right.
Fight and fuck. Is that it?
Number 2 is
all these dudes are making me hungry for hot dogs right now. Let me tell you.
So number 1 to be alive is to consume. Number 2 is to attempt to avoid being consumed. So we have all of these camouflage and defenses, and these arms race about avoiding being consumed or dying from peril. And the third one is to reproduce. The urge to reproduce. So that's the definition of being alive, right? If you say AI is alive, it can't be if it doesn't meet those qualifications. So does it reproduce or not? And I think
AI does would want to reproduce.
What?
Some people think the technology is causing us to want to innovate, and that's almost like a reproduction mechanism inherent to the technology, right?
Interesting,
right?
Yeah, that's.
We're always thinking about what's the next best thing. The iPhone 11, the iPhone 12. It's got to be better. It can't just be a number. Why do we value innovation?
The concept of always a little bit more.
Hex is the baby of Ethereum, right?
What?
That's interesting.
I don't know.
Because that's what somebody asked me that, well, what do you want? And it's more. It's always the answer is always more.
Greed is good. Greed is good.
And I'm not even talking about greed. I'm just talking, you just want things to be more. Like when I go surfing, I want to go to the beach. I want to go surfing, but I want the waves to be bigger. I want the sun to shine brighter.
Yeah.
I want the water to be clearer. You always want more.
I want no sharks.
I don't know. I don't really believe that. I think that the super intellectual is actually very nihilist and actually wants less.
Yes.
They want less disturbance. They want less frustration.
But they want more of less.
People. They're like,
they want more of less.
Buddhism says the only way to be happy is
I want more or less. I want more silence. I want more of
nothing.
I want more nothing. I want less responsibility.
I need more of a
wait. Put that one about the hot dog delivery. I get hot dog delivery now.
Dude, you are ripped, man.
Dude, I'm having a good old time, man. I love you guys. Always a good time with the Hex community. Shit.
like you guys know this whole thing about like inequality, right? That's been going on for like a long time, right? It doesn't really make sense because even let's just say everything got pretty equal. Let's just say everyone got to like a good standard of living, which is good for everyone, right? Let's just say everyone started making in the United States like $100,000. What would end up happening is that people would try to make more than that because they need to be better than their neighbor to compete for, like, I guess, females or for like the Joneses and stuff. So because we always put ourselves into hierarchies. If it's not financial, it's social.
But see, I see
what I was saying earlier was, number 1 is to consume, 2 is to avoid being consumed, and 3 is to reproduce. And so if everybody has the same playing field, then there's without competition, it self-destructs. So women always look at status of a male. They may not say that they're rich, but they say, can they command a crowd? Can they organize a hunting party? Can they defend? And again, this may be a very sexist view, but that's what anthropological studies say. They also say that we look at, as males, we look at primarily symmetry of a female. And this comes down to the base of, is this person have a tiny kidney on the left side? I can't tell because it's inside. But maybe they're asymmetrical in their bone structure. They're asymmetrical in some other way.
So nice tight ass, nice symmetrical ass, right?
Well, we look at a lot of ratios. There's a hip to waist ratio.
Right.
Are you a symmetrical man? Are you a top symmetrics or a bottom?
Yeah, I like it. I like it a little.
But
it can't go lower. The boobs can't go lower than the 0.568 Fibonacci. That's all I'm saying.
they can't cross over.
Sorry, the 618. 5.
Oh man. Hey, but Jim, what you said
for me
about less, as when I was younger, I didn't have much. It was just me and a job or whatever. And then as you start to accumulate stuff, and debts and properties and accounts and cryptos and kids and all of these things, you start to accumulate them. You do start to desire, man, I just wish life was simpler and less. And hey, me just walking on a damn beach every day and falling asleep under a palm tree, and eating what I can and not getting eaten, you know, is kind of like you desire that, you know, when you look at how complicated your life gets once you start accumulating all of these things. So, you know, if you're young, and your desire is to accumulate, you know, think twice about it, because you might want to consider accumulating less and accumulating more quality things instead of as much stuff as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Well, it's a hard thing because we live in this culture of hyper marketing and hyper consumerism. It's a tough thing to resist, the wind of compelling you or marketing to you that you need to buy more things, right? Or upgrade your things.
But materialism feeds.
But even
I don't know, it may just go rocking like a Razor flip phone or whatever, but you know, every 6 months a new version of a phone comes out, you know.
Yeah. Like I remember when I was operating off the webcam on my computer. I'm like, man, I really want one of those nice webcams. So I went and I researched and I got the nice webcam and I got it. And I'm like, cool. And as soon as I got this one, it's like, no, man, I want one of those SLR camera phone or cameras now. I want to get one of those. So that one's no good to me anymore. That one's like chopped liver. It's like, I don't want that one no more. Just like I didn't want the one on the computer. So now what's going to happen if I, you know, drop the, you know, $1,200 on another camera? I'm going to get it and I'm going to go, oh no, I want that $1,800 camera that other dude's using over there, because that one's going to be better. This one here is just, you know, just a camera, you know, and it's just a never ending, you know, battle of dealing with that kind of stuff all the time. Oh, we lost.
It's because you consummate the relationship. Every time you consummate the relationship by engaging that newfangled thing,
you want more. It's just old crackers, right? Isn't that what it was? Wasn't that the old joke?
Cracker.
It's like you're like, oh man, I want some of this.
Well,
and
like when Moses said he's going to meet me in the green room, so I got to go. Right? Okay. All right, you guys have a good night. It's been fun. It's always fun. I'm gonna go get some.
You gotta go fall down on your lazy boy back there.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
With your dog. Right on, Black. Good
you know,
seeing you, bro.
Yeah. I got another like a whole week. I'm gonna work straight, and then I'm fucking taking a day off. I'm just trying to stack some hex while we have the opportunity to. So, all right, guys.
Good time to stack it right now.
Yeah, exactly. All right, love you guys.
All right, bro. Later.
See ya.
So he lost Moses. I wonder if his phone died on us. Well, it's getting like close to 3 anyway, so we're gonna wrap this thing up.
Yeah.
Coffee. Any last words you want to throw down before we shut down?
Never been a better time to buy more hex. Go do it. That's all I got.
Not financial advice, but
this is financial advice. I'm telling you what to do with your money.
Buy cheap hex.
It's cheap. It's a great deal. It'll change your life. It could.
It could. Life changing. I said that the other day, and somebody was like, "Stop it with the life changing cliches."
It's fun. It's fun to dream.
Well, I think a lot of people have skill sets that they don't know how that they're not necessarily monetizing. Crypto Coffee said something earlier, and it was about how do you make money. There's just so many things, like that Hex Fiverr idea. I mean, you know, anything you would Upwork or you would TaskRabbit or any of those stuff, and you already have amazing skills. One is learning to be a better communicator and all the public speaking stuff you talked about the other day. Being able to distill bigger ideas into concise bullets, you know, like you're learning through or already know about your Google ads and marketing stuff. You should be consulting that stuff, because there's people that are sitting on the sidelines, like Hex Patient that joined in with us yesterday. And that guy's learning. Obviously, he's going to YouTube. He's following people like RG3, and they say, hey, if that guy can start a podcast, you know, anybody can, right? I mean, it's got to be super simple, right?
It's got to be simple. If this guy this crayon eating motherfucker can do it, then anybody can.
So this consulting business is a business, and if you take it seriously, it'll replace your primary income just because you have knowledge. I was reading something the other day, or watching something the other day. People think that it takes, you know, you have to be like the YouTube star that has millions of views every time you upload something in order to make and replace your income. You really don't. You need to have a loyal 1,000 subscribers, 1,000 viewers. You don't have to have millions, but 1,000. 1,000 replaces just about every average income in the United States. And people that they just source a niche that they don't have a lot of competition. It's a wide open marketplace. Right now, we kind of get pissed off because we get banned or something gets struck because it's, it's crypto specific. But think of all the talents and skills that everybody watching this has, and that you're accruing, and that you're building, and you're refining because you're taking on knowledge. My friend George Gammon, he's been in macro for a long time, but he only recently started his YouTube channel in December. I mean, basically when HEX launched is when he started his YouTube channel. Now he's got 150,000 viewers. He interviewed Robert Kiyosaki the other day. Robert Kiyosaki has 700,000 views on interviewing George just the other day, just like 2 days ago. And Robert has like 5 million subscribers. So you can leverage by being an expert in your
like Hexo's stream went from he was getting ready to hit 1,000 viewers. He put John McAfee on, and he went up to 2,000 viewers like instantly as soon as he attached himself to that.
Right, I saw that. Yeah.
And even when I was saying, when you saw the Gary Vaynerchuk clip from yesterday, the one he was talking about, Gary Vaynerchuk only put 15 minutes into something, but because he put 15 minutes into something, then the guy that's only going to get 9 views originally and would have had to go through 140 episodes to get to a Gary Vaynerchuk kind of booking is instantly, credible, right? Is instinct. So there's all kinds of people inside of our social networks that we already know that have knowledge. They might not be public, but you can be a relay for that knowledge. You can be a relay,
Right.
So right on, guys. Well, thanks for coming on. Everybody out there, like, comment, subscribe, get some more people to come check out the show. We appreciate that. We're starting to climb. We're getting close to 700 viewers ourselves. So keep on doing it. Keep bringing people to it. I see people posting it on Twitter and all that. So we appreciate all you guys. With that, I'm going to say thanks again. The next Discourse Syndicate is going to be the FN Hangout. So those of you sitting in the chat that would like to come on, thanks. My new homeboy Blind Corner out there in HB. Good to have you in. Give me Liberty, give me Hex. All you guys out there on the chat rooms, thank you. Appreciate you guys coming in and throwing content out there and helping us with the show. You guys are appreciated. With that, I'm going to shut everything down. Say thanks. See you guys on Friday for FN Hangout. Take care.
Later, guys.